Good morning, afternoon, if it's afternoon already for you, my sleepy ass. My sleepy ass. Woke up late, slept through. I set 4 alarms, everybody. I set four alarms. Didn't wake up from none of them. So no prep. We're just going to be winging it this morning for a little bit. I already do have my list of cases to go over. We went over that truth and transparency body cam where they went inside the sorority house, Kappa Kappa Gamma. Very interesting. Very interesting. Pretty shocking, actually. Covered some breaking news, a little bit of BTK. We're going to be talking Aaron Reed tonight with the architect. The architect's going to be swinging by tonight. I'm excited for that. Hopefully by panel. But you know how Amazon goes. Sometimes you're supposed to get it on a certain day and then it doesn't get there. But I'm pretty sure everything will be cool. If not, we'll go ahead and take another call from him. But I'm pretty sure everything will be good. I'm going to reach out to him here in a little bit and reach back, actually. So we're going to be going into the Karen Reed stuff tonight. Shout out to Sleuthy Goosey. We have her timelines. We'll be able to have that as well. She does such great work on YouTube and Twitter, Sleuthy Goosey. Always been a great source for information and always trustworthy to me. And does great jobs with those timeline documents. As a fan of Excel that I am, because if you love organizing, you love Excel. Does a great job with those documents, color-coded and everything. Amazing. I know how much work it takes. So we'll be going into some of these other cases, though, but it's daytime true crime. It'll be the last one for a little bit. And I want to say thank you to the thing about the Amazon wish list. I don't get a I literally went outside yesterday afternoon, maybe even towards evening. It was like mid-afternoon, late afternoon, around there. I went out there. I was like, oh shit, I didn't even know there was a package. I wish Amazon would let me know. And also, I wish it would let me know who donated that. The keyboard, the mouse pad, the cables. I mean, look at this frickin' mouse, yo. So I don't know who to thank. I just want to say thank you. If it was you, you don't want to be noticed, send me a DM so I can thank you personally, or mention it in chat, and I can thank you on the show. Didn't even know. I walked out. I was like, oh shit, there's a box here. I'm glad I walked out. I wish Amazon would at least notify you or knock on your door or something. I was just sitting around all day trying to mess around with the studio, and that was a nightmare, so I didn't hear anybody knock. So we gotta speak. I was talking about that body cam from Truth and Transparency that we went through last episode, and if you're a member, you can check out the Sigma Chi episodes that we've done already. We have 2 parts, and there will be a 3rd one coming out soon. I'm thinking about doing one same kind of format, same kind of style. After watching that shit, it's like, yo, what the fuck is this? So I'm going to do the same thing. Capper. So that'll be coming up. I might do the part 3 of Sigma Chi. I have to see how the week goes. Because I don't even know if I'm going to, how long I'm working Friday or Saturday. But if I'm not working Saturday, then I'm probably going to do 2 members onlys this weekend. One for the Part 3 Sigma, and then the Part 1 of Kappa. And those will be on separate nights. Or if I'm not, I might do it Saturday afternoon and then Saturday evening. Something like that. But I'll definitely keep you updated on that. We're going to be kind of checking out the Vargas stuff again a little bit. We're going to be getting into the body cam deep dive. That'll be starting at the end of the week. We're going to have Tanner Barton's mom on the show coming up to talk about her son's case. That case does not get enough airplay. I want to say shout out to Silky Southern Tea. And I'm going to have her on as well. Silky is very knowledgeable in the case. And I would love to have Tanner's mother on here so that way we can get the case some more airtime, because it's it's sad when certain cases, especially with this one, you'll see what I'm saying. We cover Idaho 4 so much, and I'm going to kind of give you guys a little checkout of the Tanner Barton case here today. Very messed up. So when you actually sit back and let it all soak in, you'd be like, this is some corrupt type Idaho 4 fucking, huh? The corruption, not anything else. The corruption. So I'm going to go ahead and say what's up to everybody, and I apologize, I'm half awake, but we're going to do this. Good morning, P. Fox, Caddy. I'm loving this new mouse. It's crazy. Maybe I'll do brunch. Please hit the like if you haven't yet. It's a free way to help. Appreciate it. What's up, Dre? Thank you. Yeah, I didn't even realize until yesterday afternoon. I was like, oh shit, I have tomorrow off. Totally forgot. I've been sucked into all this behind the scenes show stuff that I just didn't even think about it. I was getting everything ready yesterday, like I had to go today, and then yesterday afternoon, I was like, oh shit. Happy Labor Day, by the way. Commercial Zone. Yeah, barbecue and 80s music. Love that shit. Thank you, Kay. I wish I'd, the schedule was supposed to be this way, but, that ended up changing. Had a couple weeks to kind of keep the same schedule I was supposed to have. Now the time has come, and good morning, Jacqueline and Kay. Now the time has come where I will probably, I don't know, we'll see. So who knows if it all depends, but I don't know. The way it's looking, I'm probably not going to be able to do another daytime true crime. If it's not the weekend, it will probably be a couple months. What's up, Senny? Bacon does sound so good. Thank you. I appreciate that. Good morning, Sarah Sweetness. I'm going to introduce you to that Tanner Barton case. Silky Southern Tea. That's one thing. I was supposed to send her a link to the show because I asked her if she'd like to join us today if she wasn't busy. Give me 1 second. I'm going to do that before I get to the rest of these. And this wireless keyboard, too, is so nice. What's up, Shelly? Like before I'd have to reach all the way, you'd see me, I'd be like this, typing and shit, barely even seeing the letters. Now it's just right in front of me, right there. It's great. Thank you. It'll make it go a lot more fluid. We just have to, see what's up with StreamYard in the process. What's up, Zero Fox? Giving a love the name. Glad to see you. Thank you, P Fox. Ticket 23. Ticket 25. Ticket 25. Kimberly Barnett. Thank you for becoming a YouTube member. I appreciate that. We'll be having some members only stuff coming out this weekend. 2 months. Oh, damn. There we go. I was going to say, I thought. Yes. Yes. We'll be going into that tonight, too. We're going to have the architect on. I can't wait for that. At the crack of 11. Yeah, the crack of 11. What's up, Jonathan? How you doing? Oh, it's all good. There she is. Sorry about the late link there, Silky. And let me see here. Oh, cool. Maybe that'll be cool. I feel bad not knowing. Swampside Chick. Let me see here. Good morning, Silky.
Good morning. You caught me right in the middle of mid sip.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
I just figured I'd throw you up here. I saw you drinking some coffee too. I'm like, yeah, I need to drink some myself.
Yeah, I'm telling you. This is my second cup. Because I didn't sleep worth a crap last night.
I did. It was just late. The architect will be on tonight. We'll be talking about the Karen Reed case. And we might even talk some Idaho 4. But we'll be talking some Karen Reed. We'll be talking Karen Reed. New news? No new news on the docket.
You know, CJ, I just started looking at the Karen Reed case this morning. I got up at 6 o'clock my time. And man, what a roller coaster that one is. I think I'm going to start covering it too. It's crazy.
Yeah. And here, I'm going to give this to you, Silky, and everybody in chat. This is Sleuthy Goosey's Karen Reed timeline. She has great timelines on the Idaho 4. They're spreadsheets. They're color-coded with dates and details and so much information. She does such a great job making these documents. And they're so handy too. I mean, even the Idaho 4, it has everything, and it's all in chronological order. They're amazing. So if you're not following Sleuthy Goosey on Twitter, definitely follow her, and then you'll be able to get those documents too if the link doesn't work. Let me pull up her channel real quick for the Twitter.
Are these documents in your Discord, CJ?
No, these are just online. No, I just here's the link to Sleuthy Goosey. Are you on Twitter, Silky?
I am. Oh, well, technically yes, but I'm never actually using it. But do you have them on Twitter? I follow you on Twitter.
That's where I get a lot of my information. Honestly, I get more from Twitter and the resources on Twitter than I do on YouTube.
Really? Ugh.
Yeah, I get the YouTube stuff for the video presentation for the show, but most of the time, I'm getting my information from sources on Twitter, whether it's reporters, other creators, different things like that. Yeah, the architect is one of the main ones I've been getting information from too, from Twitter. Shout out to him because we'll be having him on the show. I'll share his as well.
Good.
Had a couple good retweets today that I put out from the architect as well. So here's this.
One more social media platform that I'm going to have to check now. But if it's a good source, that's good.
I mean, that's what that's me. Because like with YouTube, man, the videos could take 20, 30 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
And really, with Twitter, you not only get the information, you get the documents to go with it. so you don't have to spend 20 or 30 minutes watching a video to see the documents. You can just click on the documents, read them yourself, see a little caption of what, a summary, and therefore you get all your information and you get the documents. And that's one of the things we're still kind of working on the Discord stuff for the show. What we're going to be doing, I'm giving everybody like kind of an idea what we're doing. We're going to be allowing all the subs to be able to get the document drops ASAP. So you don't even have to be a member of the show. You can be a part of the document drops. They're going to be read only. You're not going to be able to chat. You're going to get all the document drops. So, whether you're at work, you're at the grocery store, wherever you're at, boom, you're going to get a Discord notification once that document drops, because we have a lot of great mods out there that seriously drop those documentations as soon as they're out. So you might even know before you even see a video pop up that there's a document out there. So we're going to offer that. But then for the membership, that's when you get to be able to get into the Discord conversations and things like that. So we're going to have two different tiers to it when it comes to the subs and members. So you don't have to be a member to be a part, but you'll just have like a read-only type area where you're going to be able to get the document drops no matter what. And then as time goes on, then we'll see, when it comes to more for that. But then once you're a member, then you'll be able to have access to all that stuff. We're still kind of working on that stuff in the background. Me and the mods, we're going to be having we're still kind of in the under construction still. So we got one more meeting to get to Wednesday night. And then hopefully by the end of the week, Friday night, maybe we can start Friday night off with a bang and be able to drop all that stuff. But if not, by the weekend for sure. But I think it'll be really cool. That way, even you, Silky, you could be sitting there at the desk, doing some paperwork, and all of a sudden you get a notification like, "Oh shit, this just happened in the Karen Reed case. Oh, this just happened in the Idaho 4 case. Oh, you get the documents right away, and you don't have to watch a video. You can go right to the document. You can read it yourself, and there's going to be little summaries for you guys when it comes to the documents. So say you're getting a coffee, dropping the kid off at school, you don't have to read the document. You can look at the summary that comes with the document drop from the CJ show, and you can see the summary of it. You don't even need to read it. You can take 10 seconds to be like, oh shit, okay, cool, I'll check that document out later. Just a way for the information to be out there. And then as we grow, then we'll add more things, but it's going to definitely be about the topics that we're talking about and the cases that have major news out there. So I think it'll be really cool for everybody. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. I'd like to say I not only love CJ, but it is touching how the community and mods are welcoming, and it truly is an amazing place. Thank you so much. Those are beautiful words. And thank you for becoming a member. We appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see some information, drop, which I get some. I'm in a lot of different Discords, and so there is information, but mostly, CJ, what comes across my phone when I'm sitting at work is some kind of drama, and I'm like, they said what?
Hey. Well, it's like, and I feel bad because there's a lot of, out there there's a lot where you have to be a paying member to get something from Discord.
Yeah.
And to me, it's like, what's the most beneficial? Somebody would be able to get on their own, right? Mm-hmm. But maybe might not have the time. And so to me, I was like, why not every sub be able to have document drops? Because that's what it's about. Number one, it's not if you want to become a member and chit chat about cats jumping off of freaking houses or something, you could do it, you know what I mean? But it's about the victims and it's about the families. And so we want to make sure that, even if you're a freaking sub, you should be able to have the information available as soon as possible, because that's we're out there. There's a lot of people that don't have the time to even check the website, you know
Yeah.
and we're a collective group where we're always out there looking, so it's something that we're doing anyway. So why not offer that the information about what we do these shows is about the facts and the justice and and what's going on. So why not make sure that's available for free? We're all of us as a collective team uh, are really good at getting the documents as soon as they come out. I may not do shows when they drop, but we're good at getting them when they come out, and we're working together where we can make sure everybody gets the information as soon as possible. Breaking news, a little summary about what the document's saying. So even if you don't have time to read, you got time to, up here. That way, these conversations that are taking place, maybe, they're okay. This document came out. Well, this part doesn't exist anymore in the case. So let's stop talking about it and let's focus the energy towards, you know, the real directions and things like that. So I, it's all subs should be able to have something. And then as we
Yeah.
go on, we're going to offer more things. We'll add different things to it, stuff like that. But just as of right now, it's a lot of work trying to get all that stuff set up.
It is, and I mean, my Discord is a unholy mess. I guess I need some help. I barely know how to use Discord, but yeah, you're right. Having that stuff where, and I have a lot of discussion in between. Somebody drops something great, but then there's a lot of discussion, and so when I want to find it again, it's like let's scroll through 600 messages and try to figure it out.
That that's why they're going to be read only. That's one of the things that I'm making sure is that these document drops are read only, because nobody. It's about these families. Nobody
Right.
should have to scroll through 2 days worth to get to a document and a summary of the latest document for that case. That's why these are going to be read only. It's not because I don't want people chatting about it and this and that. It's because I want people to be able to go to those document drops and go right to them, because a lot of us are really busy. A lot of us might not have the time to be able to do that, and I want to make sure that
Right.
it's 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 what it's mainly about, which is the families. When it comes to the kittens jumping off, cat stands and all this other stuff, you know, there you go. Have fun with that. But it's it's about the families, number one, and then all the other
Yeah.
stuff. That's a different spot. So, just the document drops. Just document drops read only with little summaries. That's all. Other than that, there's different channels. We got a bunch so far. Shout out, say my name. Got a bunch so far. We're going to be adding a bunch more. We're just kind of getting everything set up because we want to make sure that everything is laid out perfect. That way, once you guys do start coming in, you're not fumbling over furniture that's misplaced. The furniture is set, the pictures are on the wall, dinner's at the table. Everybody can then come in, you know what I mean? It ain't going to be no
Yeah.
chaotic, you know. So that's why it's just taking a little bit extra. That's all.
It's not going to be Silky's Discord,
No,
which
no.
is like, huh? Ah, but
Yeah,
no,
her
I mean,
coffee table's upside down.
yeah, and I'm like, because the cat
You're
is
like, what?
balancing and jumping off of it.
Right, there you go. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. That
Yeah,
cat.
it's crazy. I'm gonna do something. But no, I mean, I have mine is open to everybody right now, but I do have a members only tab, and I think that's important. So,
Yeah.
which I did us both a favor this morning, and I'm not streaming to my channel, which I usually do when I'm on but with you. But I'm like, yeah, there's so much chaos, so many. It's double the chance of trolls. So, um, you
Well,
know,
when you're about the right, when you're trying to be about the right path and you're trying to be about, you know, just being doing others what you wouldn't want done to you kind of shit,
Yeah.
you're gonna get a lot of hate. That just comes with it, you know. And that's what I was kind of telling a group that I was talking to this weekend. I was telling them like, this is what comes with when you're making waves. You
Mhm.
know, this is what comes when you're making waves. This is the kind of stuff, that gets spewed around. And the more waves you make, the more those things happen. And so it's just like I said, like I've always told people from day one. If you got a solid foundation built off of diamonds, you're going to go through hurricanes, you're going to go through tornadoes, you're going to go through rainstorms, mudslides, all sorts of stuff. But
Yeah.
as long as you have that foundation built off of solid diamonds, then you can weather all those things. Does it mean from time to time that you got to scrape loose gravel off because you thought something was a diamond and it turned into cubic zirconia? Hey, sometimes you got to scrape the loose rock off because you want to make sure you don't have that layer of loose rock in that foundation before them diamonds start to come down again, because that part it's going to crumble anyway. So you have to
Yeah.
scrape that loose rock off, get back to building it with diamonds, and you just continue to grow and weather whatever storm comes because you know you will.
Absolutely. Absolutely. In some cases, I'd take a cubic zirconia over the coal that it has turned back into.
Uh,
you
it,
know.
it looks good too, but I'm saying over time is it's
Yeah.
no,
Oh
it
yeah.
goes over time, it crumbles and it goes away. Um,
Yeah. 100%.
mm. So I have not even done. Let me know if you need that Karen Reed document, if you're going to start covering it too, if it didn't work for you.
I am. I. It's just because of I have to pull the link from the chat on my.
Oh, here, let me send
Yeah.
it to you.
I mean, yeah. If you email
Let
it
me
to me,
send it
that'd
to you.
be great. Or Discord, at either one. Um. Yeah, I can't pull it from here. But yeah, that is a crazy case. Crazy, crazy case, and there's so
Isn't it?
many ifs. Yeah, because I heard it, and then you think one way, and then I'm like, I was watching the video of the SUV, her SUV backing into the other one, and I'm like, I don't know, did she actually hit it? She's pretty close. And then just
I
so
couldn't
many
really tell.
things. I couldn't either. They're like, and I was watching Court TV, and the host was saying, can you see the other vehicle move? I did not
Hmm.
see the other vehicle move. But yet, when you look at those taillights, how close they are together, I'm like, she could have actually, tapped
Yeah.
it.
Hmm. Yeah. Because I did see there was something on Court TV that there's the doc. I think it was Court TV that came out yesterday, right? That had something new on the case about there was like some kind of like 30 or 40-minute program, like what took place or something. Is that the thing you're talking about from Court TV?
No, actually, well, I was trying to watch that one, but this is like almost a year ago. The Court TV has a video of just
Oh,
her
okay.
car, and it's like a 15-minute video, and it goes over and over watching her car back into another one, or potentially backing into, and it's night, it's snowy, but it's caught from the ring camera, I guess, and it's
Hmm.
like, oh, if
I
she didn't hit
wonder.
it, it's a miracle.
I wonder if does anybody know if there is a zoomed in, cleaned up version of that anybody did? Does anybody know?
I don't think it's a matter of
Because
cleaning
I'm
up, because it's like the angle, it's straight. I mean, it's straight back. Unless you had a camera from another angle, you can't
no, I
see.
mean somebody that like actually zoomed in on the video, did like a
Oh,
zoom in version and then kind of cleaned up the images to make it a little
oh, I
um
don't know.
there's got to be some, cuz There's got to be something out there. Hold on. Let me see here. It's a
You
ring
know,
cam.
yeah. I can probably find that video. Hold on, it should be in my. I'm gonna have to switch up
I'm
some
gonna see
stuff
if I
up.
can find something. I saw one yesterday where Vinny. No
I'm
zoom
gonna.
in. Thank you,
I
P Fox.
can probably email you this one. Let me find that one. You
Let's
know what
see
I did
exclusive.
find? I was watching her interviews on, I don't know, she was been interviewed by
YouTube.
somebody.
Hold on. There we go. I'm sorry. This the background in my ear was loud.
Oh.
Court TV Vinny being loud.
Hey,
I'm like,
Jinxie.
hold on, Vinny. What's up, Jinx? My bad. I could not hear anything you just freaking said. Vinny is so loud.
All right.
I was gonna get
I'm
that
gonna.
body cam, or not the body cam. No.
Okay, I am gonna send you this link to the Court TV. I say I'm going to. There we go. It's a YouTube video, but it's Court TV, and I just emailed you
Is it
that
this one?
link.
The security video released in Karen Reed case.
Maybe.
The 15. I might have it up already. Let me see 1 second. It's 11 months ago. 1554.
Yeah. Yes,
Okay.
That's it. And they show it pretty well. You just can't see the very back of the car.
Oh shoot, the damn sound. Hold on.
You know, when she does interviews, she sounds very believable, Karen Reed.
Here we go. Well,
let's talk about the case that we're
let me see here. Anger over witness treatment. You hear her, she was trying to say, I don't know. I didn't even, this is what I was wondering when I was watching this video. Where is he even supposed to be at? Because when I'm looking, when I was watching this before, I was trying to figure out where in the hell is he supposed to be at? Where is he supposed to be at in this video?
Well, he's
when
not
she's backing
in this
up
video.
and she's supposed. So
yeah, I don't
okay,
think,
so he was in the front street.
No, I think what happened, my understanding, and maybe I'm wrong, but my understanding of this video is, you know, she drops him off, she goes home, and she's calling him all this time, and then she gets up again, like she goes to bed about, she says 1:30, at 5 she gets up, he's still not home, so I don't know. I thought she meant when she was pulling out of the driveway, because the whole question is, how did her tail light get broken? And it shows her backing up out of I think it's her own driveway. But anyway, she's pulling out, and there's this SUV in the back, and it's like, okay, she said this is when she cracked her tail light, because you can see her kind of hit this other car. And that would explain, you know, if it's cracked, then that would explain that she didn't actually hit him. And, you know, from his injuries, what I've seen and what I've looked at, I'm like, so she did it before,
so
or after she dropped him off. Yeah.
I gotcha. So they're saying that the cracked. Okay, because I was wondering, I was like, why in the hell am I even watching this? Because I was trying to figure out where he was at.
Yeah, he wasn't with her at this time.
So I didn't get into it tonight. I just thought that's why I was like, where's this dude at? Why are we watching this video of her maybe
Yeah.
And I was like, well, maybe he was down at the bottom where she turned real tight, but I still couldn't see nothing. So I was just confused about it. So I didn't realize that they were saying that she hit him, like he got hit from her vehicle. How are they saying it happened? Because it's the rear tail light. It's not the headlight. Where if she was driving and hit
Right.
somebody, there'd be
Right.
a headlight, but a tail light. You gotta be driving like Eddie Murphy in Beverly Hills Cop, going backwards to hit somebody like that.
Right.
To
Right.
be able to cause that kind of damage where you unalive somebody. So how are they saying this happened? Do you know?
I mean, the prosecution is saying she backed up on purpose and ran over him, and they
Back
found little
up.
splinters of her tail light. But she's saying yes, but she's saying she just dropped him off, and her tail light was broken, but it was broken at this other time, and this is on this video. She backs into the other vehicle, and she's saying that she was out with other people looking for him when she found him outside the residence of the party house, and his injuries are not consistent to me just looking at him and with being hit.
Whoa, hold
because,
on.
Uh-huh.
So he wasn't okay. This is where I was confused. I thought he was at their property where
Mm-mm.
him and his wife lived. He was out, so she went to go look for him,
Yeah.
and he was outside the property that she dropped him off at.
Yes. Because they had been at this grill with some other officers, and about midnight they had all been drinking. About midnight they decided to leave, but she says that there was an after party at this one officer's house, but she didn't feel like they had specifically been invited. So they were, kind of yeah back and forth in the car, and she's like, I'm not sure that we're, supposed to be here. So she said that she drops him off, and she's waiting in the driveway because she doesn't feel comfortable walking in this person's house when she feels like they were the kind of the outsiders. And she waited 10 minutes. He never responds to anything. He doesn't come back out, and she's like, well, heck with you, we've got kids at home, it's 12:30 at night, I'm going home. So, and you can stay and party. So she says, yeah, this is according to her. And
no. She
so
probably feels so guilty.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So she goes back home, and she sleeps for a little bit, but she has texted him. She's tried to call him a lot of times. He never is answering. No. So at 5 in the morning, 5:30, something like that, she gets up and she's gonna go try. She said she scans the neighborhood and like a 2-mile radius of where they were, because he's not answering and she doesn't know where he's at. She eventually goes back to where she left him off and finds him outside, unalive. And so that's when she panics and and everything. But his cause of death, my understanding, is hypothermia, but he was beaten up. And I mean, he has defensive, this is the thing, he's got defensive wounds on his I think they said his right hand. He's got scratches on his arm. He's got 2 black eyes and a laceration across the back of his head. Blunt force trauma was like, what rendered him unconscious. And I'm like, how do you get all of these injuries if somebody accidentally backs over you? And if you're standing up, I mean, CJ,
right.
Think about it. The bumper and the back of it's gonna hit you lower. Then how you gonna get just 2 black eyes?
I mean, we went through this with the Stephen Smith case when it came to them talking about frickin' being hit by a vehicle and the injuries not matching up.
Right. Yeah, same thing.
It's the same. It's the same. I mean, not this obviously, but
right.
It's like, wait a minute, this shit is okay. So, what's up with the? How long is this? It's been a while. I take it a couple years.
I think they said it was like 15 months, something like that.
Oh, okay. And so, what's up with autopsy and?
See, That's what
COD.
Well, from what Court TV, and I just I
What's up,
haven't seen
Lisa?
the documents, and just the synopsis. They said COD was hypothermia, and I guess
Okay.
blunt force trauma secondary, but because he was passed out, or unconscious, and left outside.
Was that
That
done
is
on
what.
purpose?
Well, that's what
So it could
the
easily
defense is
be
saying.
considered. Okay.
Yeah.
Because then you could blame it on this and not the injuries that actually caused him to get what he
Right.
ultimately passed away from. If
Right.
the domino.
So
Wow.
they're saying
Interesting.
that something happened at that party and he was beaten up and they threw his rear end back outside, but it was snowing and it was cold. Defense is saying something happened at the party. She wasn't even there. She left him and came back and found him in this condition, and that it's a cover up. And they're saying that she broke her taillights on him because there were little shards. Well, she said her tail light was when she was pulling out of the driveway in the snow and all this kind of stuff, hits this other car that's on this video, and then it's up to you to decide. It's very interesting. I'd love to know what you think. Did those two cars hit? But anyway, yeah, there's a lot of different
Somebody's got to have a zoomed in, cleaned up. Somebody's got to.
You would
because there's
think.
so many of them. There's so many of them for Idaho 4. Why wouldn't there be any for this? I mean, because this is Boston Metro, right? This isn't some freaking little suburb. This is straight up Boston Metro.
Is this the same video that I sent you? Because they will show the camera.
Yeah.
If this is the same one, they'll show it. They're gonna show it over and over somewhere in here.
All right. I just wanted to kind of play this while we were chit-chatting. Let me get to that real quick.
Reed was staying the night. So she, this is what the video, here,
So
yeah,
here's
here
the video. So, hold on one second. I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to get rid of our faces here real quick. I'm going to zoom in full screen for this. And then we'll come back here. 1 second.
She's pulling out in the black SUV. And that's the victim's SUV parked. And the defense says that she makes contact, hits the victim's SUV right there, damaging that back right passenger side tail light. And they also claim you can see, the victim's SUV move, indicating that there was a collision. And then as she pulls away, they say that you can tell there's missing parts of the tail light cover.
Right, but it would. He
makes contact. So she, this is what the video here. Here.
All right, now I'm gonna mute it and put it in slow motion. You almost need to play it in regular motion because you really just have to watch for that vehicle to see if the tire shifts a little bit or the frame shifts from the tire because it's being pushed, the shocks.
Right. See, I don't see his car moving, but when I just looked at it, I mean, I don't know if that's her putting on the brake or if there's like a little bump in her car.
All right, I'm watching it real close.
Yeah, I haven't watched it in slow-mo. But look how close. I don't see how she couldn't have hit him. But now, okay, look at that little, you see the little light on the, okay, because this is interesting when she pulls off. You can see on the left side, you can see that light bulb, though, there. See that little round circle? When she pulls off, you can see it on that side. I'm thinking that's where she
didn't hit it. She didn't hit it. I'm like focused. I did not see one frame of that other vehicle move whatsoever. I'm not like
I
I'll
didn't
play it
either.
again. She didn't hit it. I'm looking at it right now, zoomed in, a foot away from this screen in front of my face, and I'm looking right at it, clear as day. And that thing did not. It did not shift whatsoever. I'm gonna shit. If nobody else has one, I'm gonna make a zoomed in one. Cause I like you. If you have a zoomed in, you just focus in one spot. It does not move. Nope, it doesn't move.
But see, what I'm thinking is
It
that
doesn't
little
move.
circle, is an actual light bulb. See, it's not, there's not one on the other side like that. I mean, I know it's a reflection, but when she pulls off, you'll see that on that, it'll then be on the right side. You can see that little circle where it looks like it is broken because they're not even, the tail lights, but it looks like from that little circle here that it's already that way.
Well,
I could be wrong.
I'm not saying she didn't break the tail light, because you can still break your tail light without pushing the other vehicle. So maybe she
See, I'm
did,
wondering if it was already broken before she hit,
but
because you see that little.
I did not see that car move. So there it wasn't.
Yeah, I didn't either.
She is close. Maybe she was close enough to the bumper where just that little tiniest amount of pressure, that 1%, up against that bumper could have just cracked it or whatever. But I'm not seeing.
Yeah,
I didn't see that car move at all.
I did not either.
So
Uh,
we'll see what it looks like when it comes swinging around. Was there a certain spot you wanted me to pause it on too?
well, when she's pulling off, because I'm seeing the little round light when she
Okay.
was right there, and now she's pulling out, and when it's really bright on that side comparatively to the other side, but when she pulls out, the tail light
S-
on the right does not match the one on the left. But it didn't, when she got close to it, it didn't, all of a sudden you saw that circle. So it made me wonder if it was already broken when she backed out.
Well, think about it too. A red tail light, a chunk of a red tail light would stand out on white snow on the
Mm-hmm.
ground. And right here where I paused it, where the tail lights are illuminating behind where that would have taken place, it would look like a chunk of a dark rock underneath the vehicle on top of freshly coated snow. So
You
it's
would
going to
think.
stand out, especially if, because it's a tail light, it's reflective. So if it's got the light shining on it, it's either going to magnify it or it's going to darken it. One or the other when it comes to the mixture of light from the tail light compared to a chunk on the ground. So you're going to notice that small chunk right underneath that vehicle, especially with it being illuminated right there.
Yeah. You would think. You would think. I really, I'm curious, and I
Not an
want.
expert, just
I'm not
common sense.
either. But here's the thing. Even if I don't think that she broke it out here, is this video, because the defense is going to use it, is this video enough to cause reasonable doubt? And I'm going to say it is.
Of course, I'm giving you the reasonable doubt right now. Like
Yeah.
they can clip our video, and they can play it on their court hearing. There you go. We're not experts, but damn, we just pointed out some shit for you.
Yeah.
You would see something. That it's
You
just
would
my
think.
opinion though. I didn't go
Yeah,
to school for that.
I didn't either, and I would
Yeah.
I'd have to recreate it to see
Oh, for sure.
if you get that little circle, because normally when you are close to a vehicle, your tail light is even, even though there's a bulb in there, but there's that couple of frames where there is just that very distinct circle that makes me think that the taillight was already out, unless that is the point that she broke it. But like you said, unless we could see that zoomed up, I see nothing reflective down there.
Coming from a guy who used to spin donies in the parking lots when it snowed out, and bumped into a few things because he lost control. Yeah, there's I don't know. It's just my opinion. There, I would think there you would see something, especially with it reflected right there, freshly
Yeah.
coated snow.
And
You
yeah,
know, it's
catastrophe. Yeah, she was close enough, I think, to hit it.
oh
But
yeah,
did she? But
right,
did she? That's the
right.
question.
And I'm saying even that 1% of pressure, because she was close. Even that 1% of pressure could have been enough to where it wouldn't have moved the vehicle, but it could have just gave it that little teeny amount of pressure where it would have cracked or broke, where you got
Yeah.
so damn close, you just got too close, but you didn't really, the vehicle didn't move. The other one didn't. No,
No, but
it still could be broke, or
there is
cracked.
a slight pause in hers when she backs up when you're looking at it regular speed that I didn't see, but that could be her putting on her brakes, or it could be her hitting it. Okay, but when she turns, okay, see this tail light that we're looking at? As she pulls off, that one is so much brighter, it looks to me, in that more towards the middle than as she's going. It looked a little bit brighter to me than the other one.
I'm looking
Which,
at this and I feel like I can see where it's broke right there. Where my
yeah,
cursor's at, if you can see my cursor. I don't know if you can or not.
yeah. Oh, there, no doubt it's broken because they found
Right there.
shards.
You can see
But
where the light stops.
yeah, yeah, no doubt that it's broken. But like you said, I don't see it in the snow. If it was on pavement, we'd probably really not know. But on snow, you would think, unless it fell onto his bumper and it was just always dark. I don't know.
Well, yeah, that could be, because look at it. The tail lights are pretty high up.
Mm-hmm.
They're basically where the other tail lights are at on the other SUV. I could definitely see how the something could have landed on that bumper right there and not fallen on the ground for sure.
Yeah. But now, here's the thing. Here's the other part of this. Looking at the size of her car, I don't see where that kind of, if that's all she did, she backed over him and all she did was just that injury, that little bit of the tail light, it's not consistent with his injuries, whether or not she hit this car at this time.
Right. It's that Steven Smith shit.
Yeah.
Saying
Yeah.
hit and run, but you look at the injuries and you're like, no, bro. There's no way a hit and run creates that kind of injury.
Yeah,
or
because
injuries.
his defensive wounds were on the back, like the top of his hand. And if you are going to be hit, if you're even, you can't push a vehicle away, but in your reaction, you would do it with the flat of your hand to try to push it away. Not the back of your hand. Who's going to backhand
Yeah, you can tell right there.
Yeah.
That it's broke right there.
Exactly.
Yep. There's an interruption in the light. Yeah, that's for sure broke.
Yeah.
Yeah, no
Absolutely.
doubt. No doubt. When it happened, I could see something landed on the bumper, not on the ground, but I don't know. When you come back to here, you'd have to notice something there, especially with it illuminated with that tail light. Yeah, and then we'll rewind it here in a second, and I'll play it full time, full speed, and then we can go back to what you were talking about too, where there was that pause. I think it was maybe one of those things where it kind of probably beeped that they were getting too close. And so it's kind of like, oh shoot, and then you're like, oh, I can push it a little bit more. And I think that's what happened, is like, I think I could push it a little bit more.
Yeah, because my car
So
has
here
all
it
of
is.
that, like, which is why I don't have any accidents because my car, it tells me it starts beeping long before I hit something and it gets louder and louder. And you can see with my backup camera. Now, I don't know what kind of vehicle this is. I haven't studied that far, or if it had that package on it
Oh, whoa,
that's
whoa.
like.
Crap. Sorry. It just did something on its own. My bad. So, like, when you back it up, it'll beep at you,
Oh
but
yeah,
it gives you, like, quite a distance, though.
yes, quite a distance. So if she has that package, she would know she's close, but she should have been alerted. See, that's so close, though, when you look at it this way. That is so close.
I'm kind of waiting for him to pull out so I can. Yeah, you don't see that vehicle shift at all. Not saying that it couldn't have broke it, because even a slight amount of pressure, I mean, you're talking a piece of plastic. It don't take you moving a
Right.
vehicle to break a taillight.
Right.
You could take your hand and smack it hard enough and you could break it, But when you're talking about just pressure, you're going up against something, and just that little teeny amount of pressure that's pushing that piece of plastic the other way, then the integrity of the strength just falls apart at that point.
I keep looking on that bumper to see if there is anything. I'm looking really hard for something reflective as she pulls away to see if there's anything.
Yeah, knee, hip area. You'd be talking shoes, but when I don't get it. You have to be backing up so freaking fast. I don't.
And how you gonna
let me
get two
see.
black eyes from that? Unless he was bent over and she backed up into. But the laceration was on the back of his head. He's got two black eyes. I don't know. I want to read the coroner's report. I don't even know if that's available, but that's what I want to read.
Yeah.
But I think it's at least reasonable doubt, I wouldn't want to be a juror to have to
Whoa.
decide on this one.
Whoa, this is crazy. That what's his name? Fox Hollow Farm. What's his name?
Oh,
Herb
Baumeister.
Meister.
Yeah.
Baumeister or something. Yeah.
Herb Baumeister.
This just popped up.
What's up with old Herb?
I don't know.
Well, nothing.
I'm the first like.
He's not alive.
Across the country have been solved thanks to advances in DNA technology and the science of forensic genealogy. Well, while the case of Indiana serial killer Herbert Baumeister isn't necessarily cold, the true extent of his suspected crimes remains a mystery.
Maybe his name might not be as recognizable as Dahmer or Gacy or people like that, but I think his actions certainly parallel, if not takes him to the fore.
Yeah, we talked about this case in the beginning of this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What
crazy.
the hell? What's
I love this case.
Do you?
I do. It is the crazy.
Silky?
It's got so many crazy ins and outs. I love this case.
Silky, can we have a can we schedule a members only live one night where you come join the show and we talk about this case just to members?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I covered a little bit of it in the beginning of the year, and this case is freaking wild. And I didn't know that you have a bunch of videos on your channel, don't you, about this case?
No, I don't. I wanted Justice to come. She knows this case so well. I wanted Justice to come talk to me. Well, we did talk about it, and I don't know. It was a live,
Oh,
but I
thank
couldn't
you,
tell you
Jinx.
which one. I'll have to stop and think about it and see if I can find it. I did cover it one time. I was talking on a live with a bunch of people, but this is not actually terribly far from Delphi. It is an Indiana case, so
Right.
there you
It's
go.
like, isn't there another name for it? Isn't it called like,
Fox Hollow. The
yeah,
Fox
but
Hollow
some kind of,
Farms.
isn't there some kind of like interstate reference to this guy too?
Yeah, it's the I something. But you know what? I know they say he's the I. I don't even know what the number is. The I something or other.
Something or other.
Like the I-75, whatever.
Yeah, like the interstate unaliver or some shit, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And but
I-75.
no, it's not 75. I don't know. I
No?
just made that up. I don't know what the route is. but it's called something. Jinx probably knows. What? Is it I-75?
It might
Look
be.
at that, CJ. I just pulled that right out of my armpit.
It might. Oh shit! At least you got clean draws.
Yeah. That is so wild. I just made up a number.
That's
Look
cool. Yeah.
I have
Fox
that
Hollow
ESPN.
Run. Yeah. 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 It's I remember like going, what the hell? Because it has to do with the property and stuff, I believe, right? Where a lot of like, oh my gosh, yeah. It's what this video says is like when most people talk about SKs, he doesn't get brought up, but when you like really get into like knowing little bits and pieces of it, you're like, why is like there? Dude, what the hell? Like it is.
Yeah, it is so
He
fascinating.
is. Yeah.
There's so much different about him than other SKs. And his wife, I don't know. It boggles the mind some of the things that she has said. And you know what? I think you were on that show, CJ, when we talked about that, because she's like, they hadn't had relations, like twice in 20 years, and I'm like, I think you were on there because I'm like, you didn't think that was weird? You didn't think something else was going on? Yeah, whatever. Be in denial. I honestly think that she did not know what he was doing. But at the same time, I'm like, what's wrong with you, sister? Use your nugget. But anyway, yeah, it's crazy, all the stuff that I love. This case is so fascinating. He's a much more interesting SK than a lot of them, in my opinion. And then they've got all this paranormal stuff that happens at that farm, that people have, talked about since then. So it goes on and on, this case.
Yeah. I'm gonna play it. I'm not gonna get into it. I would love to do a members only sometime, and maybe and if you wanted to stream it for your members, we could do like a dual members only kind of thing. I think that would be neat for each of the communities, because I think it'll be really interesting for everybody to kind of check out, and then it kind of gives other people just another members only too. Will be other than the Sigma Chi and the Kappa we'll be doing here soon. Do you have Epstein members only show in the future? We'll be doing a 9/11 show coming up. I have a bunch of stuff ready for a 9/11 episode. Yeah, we're going to that night we're going to there's like a 2-hour kind of thing that we can all like sit back and start the show off with that, just kind of, and then just some little programs and stuff like that, and maybe just some stories from everybody. I think it'd be really cool to open up the phone lines and panel that day, and if anybody wants to talk about their stories, we can do that with respect, of course, because if there's not respect for the we don't want to be too graphic, because
right.
We want to respect everybody. So if it does, then I'll handle that. But I think, I even have a story, about where I was at and what went down and how things happened. It was just,
Yeah.
I think it'll be one of those episodes, that we can kind of just reflect and, just think about every, moment of
Right.
silence and just to kind of put it, go back in time because, back then the country was so united,
Mhm.
we all were together. We all,
Yeah.
we were united. We were a force in the world, and shit is just fading away. And I think we
Yeah.
need to go back to that time and kind of refresh and be like, come on, everybody, let's get together again.
Absolutely.
Yes, that I will be doing that. That is in the rework coming up. Um, just with everything that went down, it kind of changed all of that. So I'm kind of retooling with that, and I'll be finishing up that. Um, but I'm still kind of retooling it when it comes to the finale for that. So we will get to that too.
Thank you, Cryptic. I'm glad I don't grate on your nerves. Don't ask my kids.
I was in class teaching 25 fifth graders and had to hold it. Aw,
Oh, wow.
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 Yeah, it was crazy. I checked out one of the videos I'm going to be showing for that episode. I checked it out yesterday, and it was like, when the second one hit, that's when you could hear people's voices. You could tell that everybody was like trying to hold shit together. It was,
Yeah.
yeah, it was. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. We love having her on over here. Thank you for your time today.
I know two people who were in the area. One was supposed to be in the building, but how things happen and you just don't get there on time. So.
Wow. Yeah. I think, yeah. What day is it on? It's on a Monday, isn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll have a special, maybe I'll have the 9/11 episode, two-parter. I'll do one Sunday where we have more time to do call-ins and stories and experiences and things like that. And then Monday, I think what I'll do, this is what I'm going to do because it's next week, ain't it? Yeah,
Yeah,
next
because this
Monday.
is.
It's a week from now.
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna do is Sunday we're gonna have like a 6-hour show where we have call-ins, open panel where people can talk about their experiences, things like that. Um, go into different programs and stuff, and then I think Monday night on the 11th is when I'll play the 2-hour video that I want to play. And then we can kind of just have a little bit of conversation after that. I think that's what I'll do. Make it a two-parter instead of trying to fit it all in on a Monday night. Because I want to be able to like you. I want to be able to have an opportunity where we can all kind of share our stories and stuff. My mods, and but freaking StreamYard.
Yeah.
I can see it bugging.
I don't know how. I know how to stream to mine. I don't know how to stream a members only. I'm gonna have to look that up and.
Under your
see.
settings, I can show you. I can
Okay.
show you how to do
Okay.
it. It's just in your YouTube studio, or just manage your video where you can edit it. It's very
Okay.
easy. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'll have
Subscribe to Silky.
to. Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure because I just hit one button over here when I'm streaming from
Mhm.
your platform, and I don't know if it give. I guess it gives me that option. I don't know, but I do need to have a members only. That's truly members only. My last one that ended up being public with Thomas Frost and Ruckus and you
Mhm.
and Laura. It was great. It was I wouldn't have it any other way. It was a great live. But my members didn't really get that exclusive time, so I gotta do
Oh,
another one.
Oh, Silky, I do that with some of my members only stuff. I do it either way. Sometimes I stream it and then it goes to members only. Sometimes it's a members only and then I make it available after the members only's done. I kind
Yeah.
of mix it up a little bit, you know.
Well, that's what I was gonna do.
So everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I kept saying
Yeah.
during the live, like, this is only, you're only going to see this while it's live because it's members only, but because
Yeah.
it was my fault, it messed up. But you know what, CJ, it was just so good, and I thought
Yeah.
I'm sharing this with everybody because I've got all these great people on panel, and
Mhm.
I'm sharing this with everybody. So
Just you know, as long as you have members only videos, don't you?
I do,
Like, so-
I do.
Yeah. No. Yeah. And Silky, they it's the content, you know, it's your personality, it's what's in your soul. And that's where people you know, that's what they're drawn to. Yeah, we have the content and we have the information and our opinions, but really it comes down to what's inside your soul. You
Yeah.
know, you know who you are, and you know, everybody, you get a little bit of something, you know. So hell, you
Maybe
could
too much, maybe too
Yeah.
much on my channel.
make the just leave the episode that we'll be doing with this Herb guy. Just make that just a members only, and don't worry,
Yeah.
I'll show you how to. Even if we do it during the live,
Mhm.
I'll show you. Excuse me, I'll show you how to do it.
Okay.
So it might be for everybody at first, but it'll be members only after 5 minutes or something. So that way
Okay.
you can make sure it stays that way. Because I think it would be a good. That's what I'm doing. I'm making it a members only, and it's going to be a members only. You know, because I think it's one of the cases that, you know, isn't up there. It's an older one. It really is. It's an older
It
one.
is.
But it is something that, you know, it's like, you know what, everybody else could really honestly go check out the videos and look at the stuff that we are. But it's something special for the members where they get to be the ones that get to react and
Yeah.
get to check it out and see the extra, just a little extra stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, fool around with it. You're doing great. You know, you got I've done that where it was members only. Hey, only members get to see it live, and after that, it's open to everybody. It's
Yeah.
you gotta flip around. You do great.
The last, last ditch, thing. Yeah, I'll just private it. But
I
so
can't. I've
what?
only one like, and it's from me on this video. I don't get it.
Oh, on this stream, you know what? I forgot to like it. I'll just tell you right now.
No,
Here we
not
go.
on mine. I'm saying on this
okay.
video of Herb Baumeister.
What?
What's up, everybody?
That's crazy.
Yeah, CJ's or Silky, she does a great job. I love your thumbnails. She's got some of the best thumbnails out there. Damn it, I'm jealous. Look at mine. It's all boring and shit. But you're
In
like,
recent years, cold cases across the country have been solved thanks to advances in DNA technology and the science of forensic genealogy. Well, while the case of Indiana serial killer Herbert Baumeister isn't necessarily cold, the true extent of his suspected crimes remains a mystery.
Maybe his name might not be as recognizable as Dahmer or Gacy or people like that, but I think his actions certainly parallel, if not takes him to the forefront.
In the summer of 1996, a shocking discovery on a Westfield horse farm.
The woods have yielded more bones and more bodies. This latest discovery only deepens the mystery about the identity of the victims and the reasons why they never made it out of this gently rolling estate in Hamilton County.
I would consider it bizarre. I mean, we're finding human bones. It's not at a gravesite.
10,000 bones and bone fragments were eventually found at Fox Hollow Farm, the culmination of a years-long investigation into missing men.
We found out real quick that there were a lot of missing people, a lot of missing gay people in Indianapolis.
I was extremely mad that a man had taken his time to cruise our area.
Eventually, 8 men were identified from the remains found at Fox Hollow Farm, including Richard Hamilton.
He would stand up for people, and he loved people.
And Manuel Resendez.
He was just a really nice, kind person. I don't know how to describe it. Horrible. And I know it had to be horrific for my mom.
This is Herb Baumeister. In the mid-1990s, Hamilton County, let me see here, Fox Hollow Farm in Westfield, Indiana, Herb Baumeister. So I will copy and paste the name for you. Oh, thank you, Jinx. Yes, Herb Baumeister, Fox Hollow Farms, in the mid-1990s. And there's still, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Silky, they still think that there's a lot of other victims that are out there. Do they not? Like unnamed.
Yes,
missing.
and this is why it came up earlier this year, because they have found more bones than they can identify. And believe me, they found a lot of bodies. But so now they are asking for, people, really, if you have a missing, a missing person from back in this time period, especially male, they are wanting you to do like the DNA, so they can do a genetic match to see, or to let somebody know, at least. If nothing else, if you had a family member back in the 90s that just disappeared, could have possibly been in Indiana or whatever, or passing through, who knows? Yeah, they're wanting more families to reach out and say, hey, I'm looking for this person, because they just have too many unidentified bones.
It's it's creepy as shit.
It is. Yeah.
Give me 1 second here.
And that's not even the creepiest thing about Herb Baumeister. To me, it's always his mannequins in the basement. And
I know.
For those that don't know, they had an in-ground pool. Like, they had a basement area. They had an in-ground pool. And he had all of these mannequins, like, doing things. They were like, at the bar, they were at the pool. It looked like a party. Like, he had these mannequins having their party all the time. And he would bring a guest, he'd pick up a guy at the bar or whatever. And, he'd say, let's party, come to my house. And, I've got a pool. I mean, it's a very beautiful house. And so they would go in there. I mean, the first thing, look.
Yeah.
I'm not going home with somebody I just met at
The
a bar,
property.
but yeah, if I lose my marbles and do go to your house and I walk into a room and there's mannequins everywhere, I am noping right out the door. Not happening.
Especially that, because it's like you're walking into a Halloween house or something,
Yeah.
It's creepy as if that don't creep you out. Like, dude, what the hell are you doing with all these mannequins, bro? Is it a pool party? A
these are all
plastic
your
pool party?
friends.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Plastic
it's weird.
pool party.
It's too weird.
Let me see.
I guess if you have no friends, that's what you have to do.
Huh?
I guess if you have no friends, that's what you have to do. Just have mannequins around. I don't know.
Well, what the hell was his wife doing? Like, that's what
she was.
Like,
she
that's
was
what was
upstairs.
crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I have to think that, looking at her interview, she is a very innocent type person. But, I have to think, did you never wonder? I mean, you had to know. She had to know that there were mannequins down there. I mean, did she not think that was just weird as heck? I'm definitely saying, and I have to go back and look. I think this was like a first marriage, like the only one, and she'd been with him all these years. So, I mean, I don't know, but I think I would at least say, hey, hun, have you lost your mind? You're going down the rabbit hole here. What's with the mannequins? I don't know. That would creep me out. But It's hard to
Yeah.
say.
And what the hell was the wife doing though? That's what I'm wondering. What the hell was the wife doing? Because I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
I understand it's a large property. You know, there was multiple dwellings, a lot of area, but to be doing it for that long, like,
Yeah.
that's where I'm like, how did you not stumble across something at some point?
Well, at one time, the dog even dug up and brought a bone of some kind up to, I don't
Oh,
know if it was a femur or something. And the way that Herb explained it to his family was his father was a doctor. And he's like, oh, well, he had these actual skeletons, part of, part of his lab, part of his whatever practice. He had an actual skeletons. And, he probably, when he got tired of them, didn't need them anymore, he just buried them in the yard, and that's what this bone is from. I mean, I would question that.
yeah. Catastrophe says, don't marry men with dolls. Just a heads up.
For sure. Especially for
Hollow
voodoo
Farm,
dolls.
including Richard Hamlin.
Right.
What's this
Yes.
cute little doll you got, honey?
Yeah.
I don't know why my stomach is hurting so bad. My gosh.
It's like, what the hell is that Cabbage Patch Kid doing in the corner over there, you know? What the hell is this?
Yeah.
He would stand up for people and he loved people.
And Manuel Resendez.
He was just a really, really nice, kind person.
Their sisters recall the years their families went without answers.
I don't know how to describe it. Horrible. And I know it had to be horrific for my mom. That was her baby.
Even though as painful and open wounds this is for me, I was that girl looking for my brother.
But to this day, some of the remains found at Fox Hollow Farm remain unidentified, nameless, and unclaimed.
Everybody deserves a name. It doesn't matter what their lifestyle was, who they were in life, how much money they did or didn't have, what kind of job they had. They deserve to have a name.
In a WRTV Presents special, you'll hear from those who were closest to the Baumeister case, and the man now leading an effort to bring closure to more families thanks to advances in DNA technology. Join us Wednesday at 7 p.m. Forgotten at Fox Hollow, the victims of an Indiana serial killer.
Damn. So that's coming out
Oh.
Wednesday at 7 p.m. What are you doing Thursday night, Silky? Or
To
the
work
week?
Wednesday. I'm working Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, but I get home about 7.
Okay. Oh, really?
So there's also, by the way, and I might do this on my channel if people are interested. There is a really good documentary. It's called The Haunting of Fox Hollow Farm, and it's all this.
Really?
It recaps the story, and then it goes into all the paranormal events. I mean, we're coming up on spooky season. But yeah, all these things that people have, claimed to have seen and experienced. It's pretty interesting.
Let me see. What are you doing Saturday? Because maybe we
No.
can do something. No, you gotta
Yeah.
work.
No, I'm off this weekend. This coming weekend I'm off.
Let's if you want to do a members only Saturday for this, we can do that since you're available. If you're not busy Saturday, and then we can and then this episode that's coming out on Wednesday, yeah, we can include that in the episode. That's interesting. I'm surprised they're coming out with a new one, because this case is you look at all these videos and they're so old.
Yeah. I think it's just because they are desperate to find who these people
Yeah.
are, and
But
finally
they just keep finding, huh?
Right. And I mean, you got to figure the evidence room is piling up with bones. Like they really need to get rid of these bones. And that, so they're desperately trying to help families and probably, get some of this to the right place.
Right. I just wanted to get to that real quick, and then I'm going to play one more thing, and we're going to switch the case topics. This is Karen Reed. That was on ABC News a couple days ago, where she maintains her innocence. I think you were talking about this in the beginning, right? Where she was, was talking about it and seemed very believable. Yeah, the Pennywise from Silky. Yeah, if you guys definitely go check that out. If you go to Silky's channel, holy shit. Holy shit.
Weirdo, what can I say?
Yeah, if Stephen King is I love Stephen King. He's one of my favorites. Yeah, then wait till you go see Silky's Pennywise. Little fucking creepy ass walk up, scream in your face, freak the hell out of your shit.
It was for her birthday party. So,
I was like, whoa. Whoa.
I had a blast.
Oh, it was awesome. I was like, damn, that is it. Yep, there you go. Right there. Thank you, Jinx. Right there. Freaking click on that and save it to your fucking playlist. That shit. Creepy. Good job though. Great. Oh, hold on. Great job on the costume, by the way. That was the makeup and all that shit.
Outside this courthouse in Canton, Massachusetts, supporters swarmed around Karen Reed, charged with murder in January 2022 death of her boyfriend, Boston police officer John O'Keefe. Reed has strenuously denied the allegations.
I did not kill John O'Keefe. I've never harmed a hair on John O'Keefe's head.
Her defense, bare-knuckled and bold, is making national headlines. Her lawyers alleging in court documents that a fellow police officer was involved in O'Keefe's death and colluded with other people in a cover-up.
You're alleging that law enforcement officials in this state committed murder and that they're covering it up. Why would they want to be involved in this?
Because he's dead. I think things went too far. It was late. There was alcohol involved, but they're all family. And there's many of them involved.
After posting bail, Reed has spent much of the past 18 months in and out of court awaiting a trial date.
And me and my family and my attorneys and my team have marshaled every resource to get to the truth. It just feels like no one else wants it.
Prosecutors allege that Reed hit O'Keefe with her car after getting into an argument earlier in the day, leaving him to die in the middle of a snowstorm in January 2022. But Reed says she had no reason to harm her boyfriend.
I would call him the patron saint of Canton. He was just very selfless, frugal, and I think you'd be hard-pressed to find anyone that didn't care for John.
The couple first dated in their 20s and reconnected more than a decade later in the middle of the pandemic.
So how did you meet up again?
He had reached out to me on Facebook and he said, "Hey, blast from the past, how's things?" And when I saw his picture, his profile picture was with several young children, and then it triggered my memory that his sister and his sister's husband had passed away. And he told me, "Yeah, I have the kids now." I admired that. I thought that was amazing.
Soon, Reed says she became part of the family, often sleeping over at O'Keefe's house and helping take care of the kids.
He would go to work and I would stay with his niece and nephew. All of the breaks that the kids had, we did something.
But their relationship also had its struggles. Reed says O'Keefe had been relying more on her to take care of the kids and that he criticized some of the decisions she made with them.
We had an argument on New Year's Eve. We were away on vacation and he became incoherently drunk. And I ended up ringing in the new year with his niece and nephew. John didn't come back to our room till after 3 a.m. So that was rough. I felt very much taken advantage of. He apologized profusely for what happened on New Year's Eve. And he said, "If you can't get over it, then you need to spend some time with yours. I can't keep apologizing. I don't want to keep rehashing this."
A few weeks later, they were invited to meet up with some friends at the Waterfall Bar in Canton. And there, they ran into Brian Albert, a fellow Boston police officer who Reed says O'Keefe looked up to. Albert had led the city's gang unit before commanding the Fugitive Apprehension Team. It was the elite squad responsible for taking down some of the city's most dangerous criminals and featured in the 2013 TNT show, Boston's Finest.
1 minute we're walking around, everything's fine, and then 1 minute it's not fine.
Both times I met Brian Albert, he seemed like the type of person that you'd be surprised he's out socially because he doesn't seem like he ever wants to be there.
But at the bar, Reed says there was an invitation to continue hanging out at Albert's home.
I said, can we make sure we're welcome here? Nobody extended the invite to me. I didn't hear the invite extended to you.
They drive to the Alberts' house. What happens next is disputed.
So I pull at the foot of the driveway. It's snowing. John has no coat on. It's windy. So I drop him off. He goes up the driveway and approaches the side door. And as I see him approach the door, I look down at my phone.
Reed says after about 10 minutes of waiting in her car, she became irritated that O'Keefe still hadn't gotten in touch with her, and she drove back to his home where she continued calling him before, she says, she fell asleep around 1:30 in the morning. She then says she woke up before 5 a.m. He still wasn't home. She then started canvassing the neighborhood.
Just gonna drive around in the 2 square miles that we spent the preceding night.
After 20 minutes of unsuccessful searching, she called John's friend, Kerri Roberts, and Jennifer McCabe, Brian Albert's sister-in-law, who was also at his house the night before. The 3 women together now headed to Albert's home.
How soon was it when you pulled in there that you saw John's body?
Immediately. And what struck me when I saw him was his mouth was open a little bit and his eyes were shut and he had spots of blood in different areas on his face.
O'Keefe was taken to the hospital and pronounced dead. He died from blunt force trauma and hypothermia.
On the outside.
And it wasn't long before Reed became the #1 suspect. Authorities say they had noticed a cracked taillight after they seized her car.
I had told both Jen and Kerri that I cracked my taillight. I said I just hit my car on top of everything, but I didn't look at the damage. And both women said, it's cracked, it's cracked. Calm down, you cracked your taillight. You're okay, let's go look for John.
Sorry, StreamYard. Give it one
Yeah,
moment.
but you see how that was the back of his hand where there's bruises? You're not going to push against a car if it's coming to hit you with the back of your hand. You're going to push it with the front, like your palm. You're going to try to, defensively.
Drove the back there had been... Yeah, it's... Yeah. And then... Man. So who was he did this whole rehash thing? Because she said that he was having a conversation with somebody about it, just not wanting to keep rehashing something. Is there anything known about that?
I don't know if she was talking about them going to the after party, because I'm not sure if that's what she's referring to. Because, she was saying, I don't think you're invited, I don't think I'm invited. Or she said, I didn't hear the invitation extended to me, or to you.
Or him.
Yeah. So she's like, I guess her whole thing was, why is he going? Why are we going to this party when we were really not invited?
So she was supposed to go with him, or he was expecting her to go with him?
Well, they both went, and like she said, she pulls up, she sees him get out, she pulls up, she doesn't want to go in because she doesn't feel like she's invited. She watches him, she said, go to the side door, and she sits there for 10 minutes, but he doesn't come out. He's not responding to anything, and she's like, I don't know what's going on, but the heck with this, because, I'm not staying here. We've got kids at home, so she goes back home and leaves him there. But then when he doesn't come home after a few hours, she starts looking for him.
The rehash was from what happened on New Year's Eve.
Oh, okay. Oh, when he got drunk and he didn't come in till 3:30 or whatever, and she was left with the kids.
Oh, okay. I thought it was from somebody else. Well, yeah. I mean, that's a fucking problem. If you're a dad, you're out till 3 in the morning, fucking drinking, and you have a wife at home with kids.
Yeah.
I don't know. I always had more fun hanging out at home than going out drinking when there's children. You know,
Absolutely. Yeah.
Those are memories that you can't get back. You know, what the hell, dude? Quit hanging out at the fucking bar and go home. You got a wife at home, bro.
Yeah.
The fuck. Took in his sister's kids.
Right. Yeah, because
Wow. So how many kids were living at home?
that I don't know. But they weren't his kids. I don't know that she said that he had kids, but she knew he took in, I guess, his sister, and I don't know if it was her and her husband, I can't remember. But anyway, the kids had no parents, so he took them in.
Wow. You know, that's awesome right there, you know. Like especially with the family, keeping it with the family, because a lot of these times when that happens, I always hate hearing those instances where, and I understand not everybody has the availability or the, to do that, but it's always so sad when they go into the system, because it's like, damn, they're already dealing with enough, and then when they do go in the system, usually they end up getting split, and it's just a sad all around. So it's good to hear that, because it is your family, so might have been then left, he's leaving more responsive, but then felt that he was leaving more. Yeah. Well, when you're out drinking till 3, I mean,
She called John's friend, Kerry
be
Roberts,
home.
and Jennifer
You should be home eating popcorn, watching Scooby-Doo cartoons and shit.
Absolutely.
McCabe, Brian Albert's sister-in-law, who was also at his house the night before. The three women together now headed to Albert's home.
How soon was it when you pulled in there that you saw John's body?
Immediately. And what struck me when I saw him was his mouth was open a little bit and his eyes were shut, and he had spots of blood in different areas on his face.
O'Keefe was taken to the hospital and pronounced dead. He died from blunt force trauma and hypothermia. And it wasn't long before Reed became the #1 suspect. They say they had tailed light after they seized her car.
I just hit my car and said, "It's cracked. It's cracked. Calm down. You cracked your tail light. You're okay. Let's go look for John."
But according to police statements, Jennifer McCabe told authorities that while they were looking for O'Keefe, Reed said to hit him. And when O'Keefe's body was discovered, first responders who arrived on the scene say they overheard Reed make other statements.
Firefighter said that you said, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him.
I said, "I hit him." It was preceded by a did and proceeded by a question mark. What I thought could have happened was that did I incapacitate him unwittingly, somehow, and then in his drunkenness, passed out?
When you walked out of the bar, how many drinks had you had?
I had had probably about 4.
The Commonwealth says that you had 9 drinks that night. That's what the prosecution says.
I don't believe they're saying I
Whoa,
wasn't in my
really?
right mind.
Well, they were saying you were intoxicated. Is it possible that you might have hit him unwittingly in your admittedly very large SUV?
No, not possible.
3 days after O'Keefe was found dead, investigators arrested Reed for manslaughter. She was eventually indicted on second-degree murder. Investigators reported they found fragments of broken glass on the rear bumper on Reed's vehicle, and that a broken cocktail glass was found
Hey,
by what
CJ.
appeared to be patches of blood near O'Keefe's body.
They did say, okay, they said it was
What's that?
hers, but they said that they found the shards of it on her bumper. So I wonder if that's what happened, because we were looking at that video and we were looking for shards, and I said, could it have broken off on his, and we couldn't see them, but they said on her bumper. So maybe it just went kind of straight down.
Yeah, they observed fragments of broken glass on the rear bumper of the vehicle.
It says on Reed. That's her last name. So it was on hers. You were right about that. The shards, being on the bumper, maybe.
And I could see how they don't fly off, because if it's chilling on snow, it's already got a little teeny grip to it to kind of hold it on there, especially if you're going residential mile per hour speeds. In residential neighborhoods, it's probably 20, 25, I'd imagine. Backing out when it looked like a tight spot, backward and forward, because it, obviously touched the vehicle behind, and then with having that much room, then how close it was when you're turning to go out of the driveway. That was a tight little turn there as well.
Yeah. And now, I told you she seemed believable. The only time that she doesn't is when they ask her how many drinks she's had. And she's kind of, to me, she's kind of skirting it. I would say 4. Here's the thing. Nobody ever admits to having what they actually had. So, do I think she had more? That's the only time that I was watching her interview that I thought, she's trying to skirt this issue. But that's just my opinion.
Catastrophe. Nobody can reverse after 9 drinks, especially that. I'm telling you right now, you would have seen the stop, go, stop, go, stop, go, stop, go, stop, go, because you're not in your right mind. You're quite,
Yeah.
It's a clouded vision. You're going to constantly be like, what? It could have been, and then you're going to drive, 9 drinks.
Glass on the rear bumper on Reed's vehicle, and that a broken cocktail glass was found by what appeared to be patches of blood near O'Keefe's body.
The victim, Mr. O'Keefe, is last observed on surveillance video with a cocktail glass in his right hand. Same arm that's injured, the same type of glass that is then recovered from the bumper of the defendant's car.
In court documents, the prosecution also claims that Reed's blood alcohol level could have been between 0.13 and 0.29%, above the legal limit of 0.08. In addition, they say pieces of Reed's taillight were found on the scene the day O'Keefe's body was discovered. More fragments of that taillight were found the following week, according to Canton police reports, after the snow melted, which revealed more at the scene. But Reed's attorney, Alan Jackson, has a different theory about how those fragments of taillight got there.
Those pieces of taillight were placed there after the fact.
You're saying evidence was planted?
The pieces of taillight were planted after the fact.
What does the defense believe actually happened to John after Karen dropped him off?
I think he walked into the house. I think he was confronted, was likely brought down to the basement. I think that confrontation got physical, and he was beaten. He was beaten to a point of unconsciousness.
Jackson argues that the autopsy photos of O'Keefe support his theory and not the prosecution's claim.
Looks like he's been in a fist fight and he's been beaten. He's got some defensive wound bruises on the backs of his hand. He's got this massive laceration on the back of his head, a big giant gash, about 2.5 inches, exactly lateral, going from left to right. 2 black eyes, cut over his right eye, cut over his nose. This was a cover-up that John was murdered inside that house. His body was placed outside.
But in a statement to ABC News, the prosecution
Left him
says
out there
there
to
was
pass.
no conspiracy or cover-up. Such claims have been systematically refuted by evidence submitted to Norfolk Superior Court. The prosecution also said that, according to O'Keefe's cell phone GPS records and 11 witness statements, O'Keefe never entered Albert's home, and that a medical examiner found no signs of Mr. O'Keefe being involved in any type of physical altercation or fight.
There was no evidence that Mr. O'Keefe was beaten and left for dead. There was no evidence of any defensive wounds.
ABC News reached out to attorneys for Brian Albert and Jennifer McCabe, but did not hear back by the time of this broadcast. In a previous statement to the Boston Herald, McCabe's attorney said the whole scenario is baseless. Reed is scheduled to appear next in court again in September.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos.
Definitely sounds like a cover-up. This is Sleuthy Goosey on Twitter here. And this is what's interesting. There's here is the link for this post. Exculpatory evidence coming out soon. Extremely interesting that Karen Reed's lawyers have taken a discovery dispute to the Supreme Judicial Court. Bet it's to get more information on Brian Albert and Jennifer McCabe's phones. Hopefully, we'll soon find out. Quote, Haas long to die in cold. So that must be a internet search dealing with the phones, asking Google, how long does it take to die in the cold?
Oh, wow.
But it was a typo, but it's a typo, HOS.
Wow.
And it's kind of interesting. I remember seeing a couple of those clips where they were asking those two questions and they just walked by smiling. You know, kind of like some Lori Vallow shit.
Yeah.
You got the reporter asking questions, walk by smiling. We're doing great. You know?
Yeah.
Sketchy ass shit. Shout out Sleuthy. So you know something's going to be coming out soon. Truth and Transparency is going to be dropping something soon, I believe, as well. Let me see here. Now.
Yeah, and if
this
all of that is true, then I'm gonna say this is my prediction. If that comes out and that's true, that they did Google that, and they've got this video of her potentially backing into a car, I'm gonna say that the jury's gonna have reasonable doubt, from what I can see. Plus the
For
wounds.
sure.
I
For
think
sure.
she's gonna walk on this one. Unless they've got some better evidence that they're not, sharing.
I'm gonna play something. We always used to watch these. I love this channel, Crime Talk. We always used to watch these episodes a long time ago. Check one out. This is covering a couple different cases that we do cover. Yeah, Big Boom's coming for sure. You know that. Shout out Sleuthy and Truth and Transparency for all the hard work. Sent you Lana's video on the phone. Let me see here. I'll check that out. I'm just going to cover certain parts of this video.
Good day, everyone.
Let's see. And there's something I wanted to check out about the K-Bar. Illuminati has a video out I want to play too. Yeah, there it is right there. The K-Bar. I want about a K-Bar.
Everyone, my name is Scott Reich, and this is Crime Talk. This is the weekly recap of all the top stories condensed into one convenient location for you here on the weekend. We hope you enjoy it. Enjoy your weekend, and we will see you next week. And the first thing we have to deal with is Brian Kohberger. Yes, Brian Kohberger apparently doesn't like people staring at him. And that's what his attorneys are asking the court to do. Mr. Kohberger's attorneys, don't want the trial to be televised. So that the defense attorneys for Mr. Kohberger filed a motion. And the issue is whether Mr. Kohberger faces deprivation of his rights under the 14th Amendment to due process by the continued televising and broadcasting of his trial. Now, they cite to a case going back to 1965, the Estes v. State of Texas case for that particular proposition. Now, the attorneys cite in their motion that recent press behavior in the courtroom clearly demonstrates that such is the case. So nearly 2 months ago, on June 27th, the court warned press observers not to focus strictly on Mr. Kohberger and show a wide shot of the courtroom if they wish to continue filming the court proceedings. So the judge presiding over the Brian Kohberger case warned the media at the hearing back on June 27th not to, do close-ups of Mr. Kohberger. And so the press said, sure. Well, apparently, according to the defense attorneys, press observers have thus far failed to comply with the court's direction as the continued publication of such images, and this is what they put in their motion. You can take a look at these motions. Do you think it's too focused on Brian Kohberger? Are you wondering, whoa, look at those beady little eyes. He must be innocent or guilty. No, that's what happens. I'll talk about that in a minute. Let's read on. So these photos, the defense argues, is a blatant violation of the court's orders to cease focusing exclusively on Mr. Kohberger in their own right, and are also some other articles that are sensationalizing and with very prejudicial headlines. And the content, most of the 3 photos that they cite in their motion goes back to the Daily Beast article. Report says Kohberger creepiness with women goes back to high school. The defense says, hey, the cameras continued exclusively focused on Mr. Kohberger provides fodder for observers and purported analysts on social media who are not bound by the notions of journalistic integrity and who have potentially an even greater reach than traditional media outlets. I wonder if they're talking about us. Anyway, the proliferation of these images and videos is plainly observable on social media platforms such as TikTok and X. In post, as the press notes in the court's June 27th admonition, the court referenced the recent Chad Daybell trial when cameras were asked to leave because they focused too much on the defendant. Indeed, such a parallel was drawn in the defense prior memorandum on cameras during that hearing, yet camera-wielding courtroom observers remained undeterred. The chief function of our judicial machinery is to ascertain the truth. The use of television, however, cannot be said to contribute materially to this objective. Rather, its use amounts to the injection of an irrelevant factor into the court proceedings. Once again, citing to that.
I love it too. I always have in the show. I love his sarcasm. There's been plenty of episodes where we watched and we would just crack up because he's so funny. It'd be an honor one day to sit down and talk to this guy because I love his approach. I love his opinions. Like everything about this guy he's so badass. So, that's why I love these crime talk episodes that he does. Ran into him from the Chris Watts case when that was going down. That's when I ran into this channel.
Really?
Yeah, during the Chris Watts case. Yep.
Cool. Yeah, I like him too.
Yeah,
Estes.
awesome.
His attorneys continue. The circumstances present in Mr. Kohberger's case are singular and pose an extraordinary risk of prejudice beyond even that posed in Estes. Observers' continued failure to comply with the court's directive compounds this problem and results in the potential jury pool's constant inundation with conclusory accusations and sensationalistic nonsense guised as factual reporting analysis. Whereas in Estes, the attendant risk of prejudice was limited to potential jurors watching of television or reading of print media, now the risk follows the potential jury pool whenever they go, viewable on their smartphones and constantly updated by thousands of unchecked sources. Now, each juror carries with him into the jury box these solemn facts and thus increases the chance of prejudice that is present in every criminal case. It is not only possible, but highly probable that it will have a direct bearing on his vote as to guilt or innocence. The images provided above in their previous, in their brief, state that during pretrial court proceedings, but pose no less danger. To the contrary, they gradually poison the potential jury pool prior to the trial even occurring, whittling the number of jurors able to render a just and unbiased verdict. To the extent that television shapes sentiment, it can strip the accused of a fair trial. And they say, hey, that Estes court back in the 60s itself noted that unrestricted television coverage can be corrosive to the non-trial proceedings and preemptively limit the potential for an eventual fair verdict. The inevitable close-up of the gestures and expressions during the ordeal of this trial might well transgress his personal sensibilities, his dignity, and his ability to concentrate on the proceedings before him. Sometimes the difference between life and death, they argue, dispassionately, freely, and without the distraction of the wide public surveillance. A defendant on trial for a specific crime is entitled to his day in court, not a stadium or a city of nationwide arenas. Similarly, Mr. Kohberger is entitled to defend himself against capital criminal charges without cameras focusing on his every move. In addition to the inordinate and exclusive focus on Mr. Kohberger, courtroom observers have routinely violated this order going back to May 16th, providing in part that no video or still photograph shall be taken of any papers, documents, or notes which may be located on or around the counsel table or used by counsel. That was in the General Order governing courtroom procedure and conduct. This noncompliance is clearly demonstrated in the below provided photos taken during the most recent hearing and has continuously undermined the court's stated interest in maintaining order and an environment that permits all participants to focus on their responsibilities without undue distractions. Now, aware of the constant attention paid to counsel table and the risk that confidential and sensitive information could be scrutinized, photographed, and even published, defense counsel has been cautious. This exact conduct was found by the Estes Court to be of circumstances depriving the petitioner of a fair trial. In Estes, the petitioner was subject to characterizations and minute electronic scrutiny to such an extent that one point the photographers were found attempting to picture the page of the paper from which he was reading while sitting at counsel table. Whereas in Estes, this conduct was characterized as a singular and extreme occurrence. In the present case, it has become disruptively routine and must be abated if Mr. Kohberger is to receive effective representation. All right, let's respond to this motion. Okay. Get over it. You don't want the potential jurors looking at your client. Well, guess what? The greatest disinfectant of all evil is sunlight. Sunlight. If you think there's something wrong, bring it out. Let's see it in open court. Oh, we don't want the potential jurors hearing about this case. Listen, I think we saw from the Daybell case, you know, the old joke I had a law professor say, 12 people good and true, referring to jurors, otherwise unemployable. That used to be kind of the joke. Okay, I have no problem with jurors. Jurors get it right 99% of the time. We need jurors. But I think we saw in the Daybell case, yes, you're going to find people that have never heard of that case. They will find people in Idaho that have not heard of the Kohberger case. So get over it, okay? And guess what? Maybe you should file a motion, their defense attorneys, to say, we don't want the jury looking at our client. Let me assure you, the jurors are looking at your client. If your client has some weird tick or mannerism that you don't like, better find out about it now and change that before you get to the people that really matters, the 12 people. Just go try your case, okay? I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'm a big advocate for cameras in the courtroom. I think they should be in every courtroom, in every jurisdiction. You should be able to go to a link and see what's going on in that court's house today.
Thank you, because this is going to be one of those teaching moments. I'm glad that they keep granting it, because when we went to the documents, the Idaho Case of Interest website, there's one from ABC News, and there's one from, what's the other one? It starts with the L, Media, something. It's ABC. Give me 1 second. I'm looking for it. ABC and Lewiston Tribune. So, you know, hopefully, because I'm tired of throwing the damn coffee cup up. I really am. I'd like to be able to sit there and watch this court hearing and be able to focus on the real shit instead of me having to always be focused on the damn coffee cup because Court TV wanted to continually go against what the judge was asking of the media. And it just kept getting worse. So maybe, I don't know. I don't know if Courts TV is still doing it. I don't think so. But I see that there's ABC and Lewiston Tribune. So hopefully it'll probably end up being Court TV's live feed that we get right away, but for any of these, but I'm gonna try and see if I can find something with Lewiston. What is it again? Lewiston Tribune. So hopefully they abide by this stuff.
Yeah.
It is open to the public.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Silky.
I was just gonna say I am gonna have to go because I've
Okay.
got a ton of things to do and a song to learn before tonight. So,
Oh shoot. Well, thank you
yeah.
for hanging out. I appreciate it.
Hey, I wish it could be longer. This Mondays are always my. I'm always off on Mondays because it's my night that I play. But yeah, this is. But this is really, really interesting, and I'm certainly want to get back with you as soon as possible, and let's do whether it's Herb Baumeister or Karen Reed or whatever, let's do something soon.
Yeah, I'd like to do that. Herb Baumeister. Let's schedule like a members only for both of our channels. I think that'd be cool where we could do that. I'll show you how to change all that stuff, and then yeah, I'm gonna play something about the Tanner Barton case here after a couple Idaho 4. I want to cover those things because we're just gonna be doing Karen Reed tonight. But yeah, anytime. I love having you on. So anytime you want to hang out, even if we're talking about whatever, just reach out and I'll make sure I
Absolutely.
get you on because we all love you here. So yeah,
Well, I love
yeah.
being here.
Enjoy your day. Happy Labor Day, and
You too.
be safe. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. I'll see all y'all lovely people later.
Yes. Thank you, Silky. Appreciate you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye. And so yeah, this I hope that cameras keep being allowed because this is a teaching moment. This is a moment where we should be able to see this stuff. It shouldn't be a thing where we got to worry about. Court TV should already know because everybody's been warned already. Yes, have a beautiful day, Silky. Thank you so much. Hopefully they do. I mean, I know the defense and the prosecution don't, but I'm glad that the judge is still having his mind open when it comes to this because it is important. It's important for the past, present, and future. When it comes to all this, we should be able to see this. The generation before us should be able to see this. It's something that everybody can learn, whether it's positive or negative. It is a teaching moment. And yes, the media does need to follow the damn rules. It's very simple. Don't fucking Zoom. You know what I'm saying? It's very easy.
Your case. Okay. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'm a big advocate for cameras in the courtroom. I think they should be in every courtroom, in every jurisdiction. You should be able to go to a link and see what's going on in that court's house today. It is open to the public. We are not back in a courtroom in 1860 where, we waited for the word from the newspaper. It's instantaneous these days. So people need to get used to.
Speaking of Stephen Smith, he's going to be talking about the Stephen Smith case coming up. And I'm going to drop the link if you want to save it to your playlist. This is my Stephen Smith playlist that I did a while ago, The Mysterious Death and Cover-Up. It was a long time ago when people weren't really talking about this case. We also had Suzanne Andrews on the show. And she made the GoFundMe that got the ball rolling and got the proceeds for Stephen Smith and his father to have headstones because they didn't have headstones. We had her on the show as well way back in the beginning of the year. So definitely, it's a long playlist. We went through a whole bunch of stuff. Definitely check it out if you got the time, or if you're bored, or if we're not live and you want to see some CJ. Definitely check it out, and definitely check out that interview the guest appearance that we had had with Suzanne Andrews. It was a very, very interesting, a friend for life is what she is. Since we got to meet her, and I'd love to have her on again sometime. I'm gonna have to reach out to her and see if she'd like to do another show about Stephen Smith.
To it and get used to the change. Just try your case. And my experience is when the cameras are in the courtroom, you get better lawyering. So quit worrying about what everybody else is watching. Try your case and let's move forward.
Preach.
Come on.
Preach.
Get over it. I get it. You're trying to do what you think is best for your client.
Preach.
I get it. But if your client is as innocent as he professes and you profess that he isn't, I get it. I'm a defense attorney. I get it. Go let the world see the evidence or the lack thereof so that they can make up their mind themselves. Oh, and by the way, the prosecution needs a little more time to respond to the motion to dismiss. As you may recall, the defense filed a motion to dismiss the indictment, basically saying the whole thing was a complete mess. And of course, we don't know exactly what the whole thing is, a big, complete mess, because that motion is filed under seal. Now, you would think, as a defense attorney, if you had the smoking gun that the prosecutor had screwed it up, I would not file that motion under seal. I would file that motion for the world to see and say, look how bad those guys screwed it up. So just saying, you can't have your cake and eat it too. And I think that motion is not going to fly because basically they said the prosecution didn't comply with the rules of evidence at the grand jury proceedings. Newsflash, rules of evidence don't apply at a grand jury proceeding. Just saying. And I know they know that, but that's really what they were saying. Buster Murdaugh. You remember Alec Murdaugh's son? The redheaded one? The one that's still alive? Well, he is breaking his silence about the death of his high school classmate in a new documentary that is going to be released next week. Now, Buster has been the focus of rumors and innuendo surrounding the death of Stephen Smith back in July of 2015. Now, Smith was a young, openly gay teenager whose body was found in the middle of a road there in Hampton, South Carolina, and he had suffered some head trauma. Everyone tried to say he was hit by a car, but the investigation, the evidence at the scene didn't make sense of this hit and run that a lot of people tried to.
Isn't it crazy? We were just talking about hit and run, even though the injuries don't match, and then this pops up. Very interesting.
To buy off on, so to speak. For example, Smith's shoes remained on. Usually when somebody's hit and run, the shoes fly off, particularly because in this case, Mr. Smith was hit there on the road and his shoes were on and they were untied. And then the Murdaughs stepped in. They were going to represent him if there was anything charged. The whole thing's just weird. So a lot of people made allegations that, well, it probably had something to do with those Murdaughs, an old Buster, and some, salacious allegations were made and nothing ever came of it. But then, as you may recall, when the police were executing search warrants at the Moselle property, when they were investigating the deaths of Maggie and Paul, Alex Murdaugh's wife and son that aren't living anymore. In fact, he's been convicted of their deaths. Guess what? They reopened that investigation based upon items that were found. Now, Mr.
Yeah, 2 weeks after they were investigating the whole Murdaugh murders, that's when they came across the evidence to reopen the Stephen Smith case. Only 2 weeks after the Murdaugh case with the son and the mother. Only 2 weeks. But nobody heard a peep because they had to keep it under wraps because Murdaugh wasn't convicted. Once Murdaugh was convicted, then all of a sudden we started hearing about all this stuff being opened up again. It was amazing.
Smith's death was initially ruled a hit and run, but obviously the state troopers investigating the crash took issue with the findings, as did the Smiths family. Now, small-time gossip fueled rumors that Buster Murdaugh was in a possible relationship with Mr. Smith. Now, Buster Murdaugh and Smith were together at the Wade Hampton High School. They were simply classmates, and they played on the same baseball team. Now, Buster Murdaugh is speaking about all these rumors in an interview for a documentary that's going to air next week. It's called The Fall of the House of Murdaugh. And he states, I quote, "I never had anything to do with his murder, and I never had anything to do with him on a physical level," says Buster. Now, like I said, speculation about Buster Murdaugh's involvement in Smith's death intensified when Smith's mother had her son's body exhumed and another autopsy was performed. Now, the documentaries and podcasts have kind of focused on rumors that the state troopers heard about Buster Murdaugh and Smith during the investigation. The speculation prompted Buster to issue a statement denying what he called vicious rumors. The statement and the body being exhumed follows Alec Murdaugh's trial, in which he was convicted, obviously, of the murders of Maggie and Paul. Now, this will be the first time that Buster Murdaugh has granted an interview about the murders or Smith's case. It all marks the second time that the general public will hear from Buster himself. Now, Buster was asked where he was the night that Mr. Smith was killed. Journalists setting him up, perhaps? Well, he says, Mr. Buster Murdaugh says, "The night Stephen was killed, I was at our Edisto Beach house." Buster claims. The reporter asks then, "Well, who are you with? Your family?" "My mom and my brother." Ooh, they're not around to corroborate that, are they now? Anyway, when asked about how the rumors has affected his life, Buster became emotional and said, "Well, let me tell you, this is very, 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 very," it had that many varies, "it's a terrible thing to place on somebody with absolutely no facts. I mean, it has harmed my reputation. People perceive me as a murderer." Now, according to Sandy Smith's lawyer, a grand jury was impaneled to investigate Smith's death earlier this summer, but the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division, aka SLED, has investigating Smith's deaths since June of 2021. And obviously, no true bill has been returned on an indictment as of yet. We will have to wait and see. Somehow, I think nothing will come from it, but this new documentary will air August 31st. Next on the docket, Bryan Kohberger. The press is going to fight the attempts by the defense to keep cameras out of the courtroom. Good for them. So, a loosely organized group of news organizations plans to fight an attempt by the murder suspect's defense team to have cameras removed from the court hearings. Now, obviously, Bryan Kohberger faces the death penalty if he's convicted of killing Kaylee Gonzalez, Madison Mogan, Ethan Chabin, and Zaina Kernodle. Needless to say, this case has had significant attention since the murders last fall near the University of Idaho campus. Now, Kohberger's defense team has previously argued against journalists accessing court hearings, calling the media attention twisted and grotesque. In a recent filing, the defense team accused media organizations of violating a judge's order not to focus solely on their client and saying images of their client in the pretrial hearing will poison the jury pool. Now, the attorneys for the group, which includes many news organizations throughout the country, have filed a motion to intervene, asking that the group's voice be heard in arguing against the motion. The group of these news media organizations include other local and national news companies, as well as state and local organizations. The news organizations have previously argued that the gag order in this case was overly broad and limited public access to the proceedings. And at the time of those filings, the judge reserved judgment on allowing cameras in the courtroom, saying they were allowed now, but that he could change his mind at any time. Obviously, the press believes that the media access can be done responsibly and responsibly, and especially in death penalty cases, is necessary to ensure that criminal proceedings are done fairly and in the public eye. The media group points to an article mentioned in the defense motion in which the defense says that Fox News focuses strictly on Kohberger. The coalition points out that in the story, photos also showed Kohberger's attorney entering the courtroom, the prosecutors, and the murder victims, and even a still photo from a previous traffic stop involving Mr. Kohberger. Attorneys point to several other stories done in national and local media that don't focus solely on Kohberger, but instead include images of the victim and the video of the other participants in the court hearings. Now, the judge has scheduled a hearing on this matter for Friday. We'll see how it goes. Obviously, it's no secret as to what my position is. I would have cameras in every courtroom across the country. Shouldn't be a big deal. Let's face it, these attorneys for the defense, Mr. Kohberger's attorneys, are doing their job. Let's face it, they want to have the cameras in there. They're just doing what they have to do, but they want them there. It works better for everybody else. You're going to see better lawyering if the proceedings are televised. Although I guess we didn't really see that in the Lori Vallow case. But, you know, there's always a shot. And we deserve to see, the public deserves to see what's taking place. And why would the government, the judges, the court system, the prosecutors, the public defenders not want the world to see what they're doing and how the judicial system is being executed in this process? What? You mean the judges don't want to be criticized? The public defenders don't want to be criticized? Maybe the prosecutors don't want to be criticized? Oh, maybe that's really what it boils down to. It's not really about keeping everything focused just on Brian Kohberger. No, it's so we don't focus on the prosecutors and the attorneys and the judges to see if they're doing their rights and if they're doing their jobs correctly.
As a pet owner, you want to give your furry friend the very best. That's why Baked in Colorado's CBD infused dog treats are the perfect.
Wow, he snuck that in, didn't he? Holy shit. Hold on 1 second. Damn.
Police are investigating if there is, in fact, a connection between the Gilgo Beach suspect, Rex Heuermann, and the disappearance of a South Carolina woman back in 2017. That woman's name is Julie Ann Bean, and she was last seen in Sumter County, South Carolina on May 31st, 2017. And her daughter reported her missing on November 18th that same year. Now, a person apparently anonymously called and claimed to be a friend of Bean, and they reached out to the sheriff's office and said that there may have been a connection between Miss Bean and
now
Mr.
South Carolina.
Well, for those who aren't familiar, the Gilgo Beach murders were a series of slayings that spooked the Long Island, New York area for years, and 11 sets of human remains have been found in or near the Ocean Parkway in Long Island since 2010. Now, Rex Heuermann, he is the New York City architect who was arrested in July in connection with the slayings of these women, or at least of several women. Remains were found near the Gilgo Beach, and he is considered the prime suspect in the disappearance of the fourth woman, a group that has been dubbed the Gilgo Four. Now, the victims were all believed to have been sex workers who advertised online sites, according to the police. Now, Heuermann has pled not guilty to the charges, and the Sumter County officials down there in South Carolina said that the tipster did not reside in the county and provided third-hand information. But the team is going to investigate Bean's disappearance, and they've obviously met and shared the information with the FBI. The Sumter County Sheriff's issued a statement stating that investigators have been poring over the recently received information to determine if there is any evidentiary link between Miss Bean's disappearance and Mr. Heuermann. Yet there are no confirmed facts that confirm or deny the possibility of a connection. The sheriff's office said that investigators are interviewing individuals and looking into reports that Bean may have been seen with Mr. Heuermann, and the work is ongoing, and Miss Bean's missing persons case will remain open until she is found. Now, what does this
Yeah, how many more are there? You
mean?
know?
An anonymous tip to a police department
Breaking news coming up. I'm not sure if they found this gentleman in PA, but there's a press conference that just
Men-
came out.
Well, hopefully somebody has some real information that it can be corroborated. Otherwise, it's just, well, it's kind of the equivalent of a false word to the police, making false accusations, and it just wastes police resources. So hopefully it is something legitimate. And if it's not, hopefully it is resolved quickly so we don't waste the limited resources of the police.
All right, this just came out here.
Good afternoon. My name is Lieutenant Colonel George Bivens, Deputy Commissioner of Operations with Pennsylvania State Police. With me is Major D'Ambrosio over to my right, the area commander for this area of the Pennsylvania State Police. Also, I'm joined by District Attorney Deb Ryan and also Rob Clark from the U.S. Marshal's Office. As you know, on the morning of Thursday, August 31st, inmate Danilo Cavalcante escaped from the Chester County Prison. The investigation into the escape is ongoing and is being conducted jointly by the Chester County District Attorney's Office and the Pennsylvania State Police. After the escape was detected at approximately 10 o'clock that morning, a county employee reported seeing an individual matching the description of Cavalcante south of the prison near Route 52. Numerous law enforcement agencies searched that area but could not locate Cavalcante. The escape investigation and search was originally coordinated by the Chester County District Attorney's Office with assistance from the Pennsylvania State Police and numerous other local, state, and federal agencies. With much of the effort now focused in PSP primary coverage area, District Attorney Ryan has requested PSP to take a leading role in this investigation. We have agreed to do that and, of course, continue to work closely with the District Attorney's Office as we move forward. We continue to bring more technology and personnel to bear on this situation. Since the day of the escape, there have been several credible sightings within an area bordered by the intersection of Route 926 and 52, north on 52 to Parkersville Road, southeast to 926, and west to the intersection of 926 and 52 in Pocopson Township. In total, there have been 4 sightings within that boundary. The most recent credible sighting occurred yesterday afternoon, also within that bordered area. We have secured that area and continue to actively search it. While there are a number of challenges, we are confident that if he is in there, we will find him. We are asking for the public's help in a number of ways. First, familiarize themselves with the photograph and description of Cavalcante. There is every reason to believe he remains in this area. Second, within the secured area I've described, as well as near there, we are asking residents to check on their neighbors. If they're not at home, please let us know so we can check their property in their absence. We know that we have numerous homes within the search area in which we presume the occupants are away for the holiday weekend. We have been checking the exteriors of many of those homes, but as they return, if they find anything disturbed, please stop and call us so that we can check it out prior to them going through the residence. Third, please check your home security cameras and
Yeah, the video's maxed out. I already got the video maxed out volume and I turned my music off. So unfortunately, this is as loud as it is. I'll share the link with you guys if you want to have the actual version of it.
call us with anything suspicious you might observe. There's been a tip line established and we can be reached at 717-562-2987. 717-562-2987. All tips, of course, will be fully investigated. We also remind everyone that a reward totaling up to $10,000 so that we can check it out prior to them going through the residence. Third, please check your home security cameras and call us with anything suspicious you might observe. There's been a tip line established, and we can be reached at 717 562 2987. 717 562 2987. All tips, of course, will be fully investigated. We also remind everyone that a reward totaling up to $10,000 has been offered for information leading to the capture of Danilo Cavalcante. I wanted to say a couple of things to the community as well, if I could. First, you may be hearing a message that's being broadcast from a helicopter or from cars in the vicinity of that perimeter that I talked about. One of the things that we have done is we've had the individual's mother make a recording asking him to surrender peacefully. It's done in Spanish, or actually Portuguese, and it's being broadcast in an effort to facilitate his peaceful surrender. Secondly, we're also asking the community to avoid the wooded area or anything outside of the immediate area around their homes in that perimeter that I described. As I said, we're actively searching that area. We're certainly not trying to lock anyone down, but we want to keep residents as safe as possible while we thoroughly search that area. So again, we ask them to refrain from that area. And I'd also like to thank the community for their support. You know, this has gone on for a couple of days now. I know it's stressful for the community, but I want to assure you that all of us up here and our respective offices are working diligently to bring this to a conclusion as quickly as possible. Please know we are devoting all available resources. We're constantly identifying additional needs. We're making sure we bring those in, and we will resolve this as quickly as possible and as safely as possible. With that said, we'll be happy to take questions if any of you have any.
For the most recent sighting, can you just describe a little bit about what he looked like? Has he changed his appearance at all, and what was the nature of that sighting?
The appearance was very similar to what we've described, perhaps looking a little more worn and tired, but a very brief sighting, and it was a trooper actually that observed him in some distance, gave chase, but was unable, because of the terrain and some other obstacles there, was unable to get to him before he disappeared.
Where did he run off to?
It was all within that perimeter area, but I don't want to be any more specific than that.
Can you elaborate on what makes it a credible sighting? Is it all visual? Are there video components to any of it?
One was a video sighting that I believe you have all seen. We've analyzed that video. The others are not video, but after extensive interviews, we believe them to be credible sightings.
Do you have any reason to believe that he's being assisted by anyone out there at this point?
I wouldn't want to comment at this point. We'll of course explore all avenues, and that's always something we look for. But I wouldn't want to go into anything more right now. I'm sorry. We can confirm that we have investigated actually 2 burglaries. The evidence is still under analysis at this point, and so I can't confirm that it was him, but they are of interest to us.
So is that why you're telling people, because after this holiday weekend, that people haven't been home? So is that really what you're stressing to people?
Well, not only because of those 2 instances, but we know that that he is going to be looking for a means to sustain himself. He's going to need clothing. He's going to need food, and just to get in out of the weather. It's pretty hot out there. I'm sure he's looking for some better shelter. So for a lot of reasons, we would be concerned about where he might hide.
Did you dispatch any of your troopers to water line drive for one of those apparent burglaries?
That's within the search area, and yes, we have investigated a number of things within that search area. I don't want to get any more specific than that.
Obviously, it's been 5 days, so he needs to sustain himself in some way, whether that's food, water, as you mentioned, finding some type of shelter. Talk to me about when you're looking for someone who is in a desperate situation right now. What are those things that you're taking into account in terms of his needs at this point?
Well, from experience, there are a lot of things that we'll consider, but certainly you have to keep in mind he's stressed right now. Imagine any one of you being placed in a situation where you may not have had a chance to pack. You don't have things with you other than what you're wearing, and you don't have cash. You don't have a credit card. you don't have any other means to support yourself, you're going to be desperate, and that's the situation he's in. But it's also why one of our practices in how we conduct these types of investigations and manhunts is that we'll continue to push him hard. I intend to stress him. I want to push him hard. He'll make mistakes. He'll show himself. He's already shown himself, we believe, a few times. We'll contain him, and we will eventually catch him. We will do it as quickly as possible. Obviously, it takes time. He is desperate. He does not want to be caught. He has very little to lose at this point.
With school starting up soon, will research efforts impact any bus stops for children? How should parents kind of deal with that?
So I'm going to defer to the school districts to communicate that information out. I can tell you that we have been in touch with the State Department of Education, having discussions about this, and also the district attorney has been in touch with several of the local superintendents. We're going to have another discussion later this afternoon. Ultimately, the decision rests with the school districts. We can provide them sort of the latest picture of what's going on in their areas, and then we ask them to make that decision and communicate that out to the parents.
Have you authorized the use of deadly force to apprehend him?
Yes.
You'll have rails before on that?
If he is not actively surrendering, deadly force is authorized.
This is for Deb Ryan. Have you completed your investigation into the prison break at this point, or are you still?
Mike, our goal right now is to find this man and capture him. So we are channeling all of our efforts to bring him into custody. That is secondary. That is certainly a concern. But at this point, all manpower has been executed to find and hunt down this fugitive.
But it's been 5 days. How can you not explain how he escaped?
As I indicated, our focus right now is to capture this fugitive. He's a dangerous person. We will be able to update our investigation with respect to what happened at the prison at a later date.
Right, but I mean, obviously the question is, like, could other people also escape? I mean, is there something, at issue with the prison where somebody else could pull this off?
They have been looking into what happened and they are investigating what happened. I'm not at liberty at this point to share.
Yeah, I'm going to say that's a bullshit answer right there, because ever since this took place, they ain't saying how the dude got out. And that's a great freaking question for the community. Do they need to worry about other people being able to get out? And they totally just dodge the question. Come on. This is
able to update our investigation with respect
Listen to
what happened
this.
at the prison at a later date.
Right, but I mean, obviously the question is, like, could other people also escape? I mean, is there something,
She's asking, if you can't hear, could other people escape? This is what they're asking you, lady, and you're dodging the question. Everybody should have the opportunity to frickin' know if they... Dude, it's like they don't care if something else fucking happens. The dude's on the fucking run. They already have to worry. Oh, man.
They have been looking into what happened and they are investigating what happened. I'm not at liberty at this point to share with the public what is going on with respect to that investigation.
They're not asking you, lady, to share what's going on in the investigation. They're asking you if they need to freaking worry if anybody's gonna fucking escape.
Prison is
Because your people ain't saying how it happened. That's fine. Don't tell us how it happened, but tell us if we need to freaking look, man. What the hell is wrong with...
aware of whatever vulnerabilities they had, and they have made efforts to correct those vulnerabilities.
Clarify, you know how he escaped, but you're just not saying, or you just don't know yet?
As I indicated,
Great
we are working on
questions.
the investigation with respect to
Oh,
the
my
escape.
great
Our main
questions,
focus right
reporters.
now is
It's
to
not the
capture this
reporters.
fugitive. Yes, there was.
There was an escape 2 months prior to this? Whoa, hold on a second. There was an escape 2 months prior to this. I'm gonna look this up after we're done with this. What the hell? And then that's when you should be telling people. You should be telling people if they need to. Of course that I'm telling him, yeah, of course you need to fucking worry because if it happened 2 months ago, it happened just now. I bet everybody knows the vulnerability in that place. And this lady's, they're taking all the corrective measures to make sure. Really? Then why did it happen again when it happened 2 months ago, lady? Shouldn't I mean, you would think that the protective measures would have gone into effect at that point. Obviously not. And you're not playing for the Masters. I don't know why you're wearing the green jacket.
I believe it was in May of this year.
We interviewed a neighbor who said that he was in his shed. That's somebody who escaped a couple months ago.
I think we're talking about the same suspect. Yeah.
The same suspect. Hold on a second. The same dude is. Hold on a minute. What the hell? The same dude is. The same dude escaped 2 months ago. What? Did I hear that right?
This year.
Hold on. Okay,
Yes,
so
there
she
was.
confirmed Friday there was.
That's correct. I believe it was in May of this year.
We interviewed a neighbor who said that he was in his shed. That's somebody who escaped a couple months ago.
I think we're talking about the same suspect. Yeah.
Are you? What? Maybe I didn't hear that right. I'm gonna have to rewatch this when there's closed captioning up. I don't know. We need to find out. Is this the same person? Like, is this an episode of Prison Break? He's got the fucking map tatted on his back and shit.
At all, or was this I mean, it doesn't seem like he knew where to go.
At this time, we don't know, Mike, and we're conducting that investigation
Can you
currently.
elaborate on talking to the superintendents? Because we talked to, all of us, have talked to so many neighbors, right, who are apoplectic, I want to use the word, just so upset, right? Can you talk to them about, they're saying they're not getting a lot of communication. They don't know what to do. They are having guns by their side.
Oh my gosh, the poor neighborhood. The poor neighborhood. What are you gonna say to that lady?
Absolutely. And our main concern is with the residents in this community. Of course, we want to make
The
sure
fuck
that
it is.
they are
Yeah, you're
protected
fumbling
and
now.
safe. We have been in communication with the superintendents. We have been sending out reverse 911 calls to the residents in a 2-mile perimeter. So they're
Reverse
getting updates
911.
that the rest of the community outside of that area are not getting. So we're making every effort to be in touch with them.
Reverse
Regarding the
911.
schools and how we want to operate moving forward, we have a call this afternoon to talk that out with the superintendents. But like Colonel Bivens indicated, it's going to be a decision that the school districts have to make on their own, but we're going to provide them with all the information that they need to make an educated decision on.
No, don't have fucking school. How about you just say it now? Until the suspect is captured and we know that this prison is frickin' locked down. I hope. Right, P. Fox? Right? Exactly. Oh my gosh. And he's still on the frickin' run. It didn't just happen this morning. This has been a couple days. Oh, hell no.
I understand that, and I want to say that we are doing everything in our power to get this guy, and people are working round the clock. I understand their fears, but we are doing everything. We're bringing in all the experts in this area. We have the top men and women working round the clock to bring this man to justice, and we're not going to stop until he's captured. And we hope we're getting closer.
And if I could just jump back in here, thank you. With regard to the neighbors, or the people in this area, I want to assure them that we have a strong presence there. They are not on their own out there. We have people close by. If they hear or see anything call us. We will be happy to come check it out. They don't need to go outside and check out a suspicious noise, or if they hear something in their homes, we'll take care of it right away. We're close by. It's not going to take long at all to have somebody there. So we're happy to do that. And again, please know that we are doing everything. We ask for their indulgence of the heavy police presence, but that's one of the ways that we can, as best possible, assure their safety.
Is there anything that people should be avoiding, any behavior that they should avoid? As you mentioned, go out into the woods, but this is a holiday. Obviously, people have family get-togethers, family reunions, etc. Should they be staying inside and kind of canceling everything that they had already?
No, we're not asking people to do that. There's been no indication that that he poses that kind of a threat to anyone in those neighborhoods. He doesn't want to be caught. He doesn't want to go back. Now,
He
if he's
doesn't pose
desperate
a
to do
threat.
something, sure. But
Oh, okay.
but
So
we don't.
somebody, let me get this straight. So somebody that doesn't want to go back and doesn't want to be caught isn't going to be a harm to the community? Where? My brain is having a hard time computing that. Um, I, what?
To anyone in those neighborhoods, he doesn't want to be caught. He doesn't want to go back. Now, could he be desperate and do something? Sure. But it's not going to take long at all to have somebody there. So we're happy to do that. And again, please know that we are doing everything. We ask for their indulgence,
Really?
heavy police presence, but that's one of the ways that we can, as
Oh,
best
wow.
possible, assure their safety.
Is there anything that people should be avoiding, any behavior that
Wow.
they should avoid? As you mentioned, go out into the woods, but this is a holiday. Obviously, people have family get-togethers, family reunions, etc. Should they be staying inside and kind of canceling everything that they had already?
No, we're not asking people to do that. There's been no indication that that he poses that kind of a threat to anyone in those neighborhoods. He doesn't want to be caught. He doesn't want to go back. Now, could he be desperate and do something? Sure. But we don't have information to suggest that anyone is at risk for going out in their yard. What we're saying is to avoid interfering with the search, avoid those wooded areas. And again, that's a fairly small area, maybe a mile and a half across. The rest of the area, we're not even asking people to avoid the woods. It's within that perimeter area that we've set up that we're just asking for those, not even restrictions, some cooperation to make our jobs a little bit easier.
You just always in that 2-mile radius from, and then again, use of deadly force. Is this shoot to kill on site, or if he doesn't actively cooperate?
Well, the term is not shoot to kill. It's deadly force is authorized, and it's if he is not actively surrendering. We do consider him to be a very dangerous individual. He is convicted of homicide here, was involved in another homicide in Brazil some years ago. Somebody that we think poses a threat and needs to be taken out of the community, needs to be incarcerated. He has the option to surrender. That is what we hope he will do.
Will he be returned to the Chester County Prison if he's apprehended?
We'll discuss that at that point in time. But what I would tell you is that I can assure you that there will be secure measures put in place that he won't be escaping again. And so whether that's at another facility, that's something that we'll be discussing with the district attorney and also with the State Department of Corrections.
Are the troopers going home to home searching to see if he's in one of their homes? Or we heard from some neighbors that they've allowed the troopers to go in and search?
They have been. And so again, we ask their cooperation. So you may see a trooper in that area or somewhere close by, knock at your door and ask some questions or ask if they can come in. And again, it's simply that they're trying to make sure that we have thoroughly searched that entire area, that residents' homes are secure.
Can we hear from a U.S. Marshal in terms of what your role is right now?
Sure. I think Lieutenant Colonel Bivens summarized everything perfectly. Our role is to support the Pennsylvania State Police They are the lead investigator in this investigation, and they come with much experience of these woodland manhunts. We've had numerous manhunts. I think the most recent was in Warren County just a couple months ago. So we're bringing the best of the best assets out here. Their CERT team, their Special Emergency Response Team, is well trained. They're here. Our professionals from the Marshal Service are here as well. And our position is that Danilo Cavalcante's desperateness will not outlast the resolve of our investigators here. And that goes for the state police, that goes for the Marshal Service, our state and county local investigators. We're all on the same team. And like the Lieutenant Colonel said, we will get him, we'll push the threat, he'll make a mistake, and we'll bring him into custody.
So outside that 2-mile radius, you're an expert, you've done this many times. Longwood Garden is open. I'm not sure if Westchester University made a decision yet. Should people outside the 2-mile radius not be as concerned, or what do you say to people outside that 2-mile radius?
I don't think we're there yet. Like the Lieutenant Colonel said, our efforts are focused on that 1.5 to 2-mile radius.
Escape from the
inside
roof?
the inner perimeter. There's been 4 confirmed sightings. So we're not ready to sound the alarm outside of that radius yet.
No way.
Until we exhaust it,
Wow.
we prove that he's escaped that 2-mile radius, then we can talk about maybe what the public should do outside.
Wow.
Which are all concerned.
Yeah, and he's not a worry or a danger to the community, right? Sure, he could do something, but, probably not. Really? Wow. Thank you, everybody, for your information. Wow. This is so ridiculous. This is so ridiculous. Come on, people.
When you talk about a 2-mile radius, you got to remember this is a 5-foot tall gentleman, 120 pounds, and this is a heavily wooded area. It's very, very thick back there. There's a lot.
He also had a
of
drawn
rocks,
map in
there's
his
a lot
cell.
of, ravines back there, and we are an expert in fugitive investigations, but the Pennsylvania State Police are experts in.
Thank you for
chain of
your
command.
updates,
And I think
everybody. I
that's why Lieutenant
appreciate that.
Colonel Bivens is here. There's nobody better at
Wow.
accuracy than him.
Oh, there's nobody better.
I guarantee you that if he is here, that his troopers, along with our investigators, are going to be able to find and locate him.
Is there enough out there that he can actually sustain himself for an extended period of time between water, fruits, things of that sort?
Is there enough resources out there? I don't know. I don't know what he's obtained. I'm no expert on what's edible out there, what drinking water he's using. From the video the other night, we know he had a backpack on. One of the questions is, where did he get that backpack? So when we say homeowners who are coming back from the shore, check your belongings, see if anything's been disturbed. Are you missing a backpack? That could fill in some voids for us. So as far as sustainability on the land, I'm just not sure. But a man is desperate at this, anything's possible.
Are there any plans to release the recording?
Yeah, anything's possible,
Release the
bro.
recording to the
Wow.
media? Not now. There's not. We're utilizing it for our investigations. So the broadcast, like Lieutenant Colonel said, through the helicopter yesterday and through patrol cars, in hopes that perhaps as desperate as he is, maybe he has a change of thought. And here's his mother telling him to surrender, and his family cares about him. He's desperate. He's hungry. He's been in the woods. He's dirty. Perhaps this is what puts him over the edge where we can get a peaceful surrender.
Is his mom in Brazil?
She is.
That's my follow-up question. I know it is in Portuguese, but can you tell us what his mother is actually saying to him?
I don't want to say verbatim. She's just encouraging that his family loves him and that she wants him to surrender. And that's what our hope is as well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, he was convicted. Hold on one second. Let me find the message here. He's been cited. He's on the move. He won't lay low. He'd be caught. Exactly. Sneaky. Sorry, I'm trying to look for that message. 2 unalivings on his record. Brazil, 1 is separate. Let me see here. Unalived ex-girlfriend sentenced to life just a few days before escape. Makes you wonder if there was help as well. Not good. Still on the run. Let me check for more breaking news to see if there was. Let's see. That was the full news conference. That was probably better audio. I'm going to go back to it because I want to see if we can hear the questions from the reporters a little better. Hold on 1 second. Make sure I'm subbed to them.
Good afternoon. My name is Lieutenant Colonel George Bivens, Deputy Commissioner of Operations with Pennsylvania State Police.
All right, I want to
With
hear.
me is Major D'Ambrosio over to my right, the area
wanna hear
commander for this area of the Pennsylvania. We're going to have another discussion later this afternoon going on in their areas, and then we ask them to.
We're going to listen to that part where they're asking Green Jacket all those questions.
Make that decision and communicate that out to the parents.
Have you authorized the use of deadly force to apprehend him?
Yes.
Mike, our goal right now is to find this man and capture him. So we are channeling all of our efforts to bring him into custody. That is secondary. That is certainly a concern. But at this point, all manpower has been executed to find and hunt down this fugitive.
But it's been 5 days. How can you not explain how he escaped?
As I indicated, our focus right now is to capture this fugitive. He's a dangerous person. We will be able to update our investigation with respect to what happened at the prison at a later date.
Right, but I mean, obviously the question is, like, could other people also escape? I mean, is there something, at issue with the prison where somebody else could pull this off?
They have been looking into what happened and they are investigating what happened. I'm not at liberty at this point to share with the public what is going on with respect to that investigation. The prison is very aware of whatever vulnerabilities they had, and they have made efforts to correct those vulnerabilities.
To clarify, you know how he escaped and you're just not saying, or you just don't know yet?
As I indicated, we are working on the investigation with respect to the escape, but our main focus right now is to capture this fugitive.
Because you confirmed Friday that there was another escape 2 months prior to this. So
Yes, there was.
you did confirm that.
That's correct.
2 months prior?
I believe it was in May of this year.
Okay, so that's not 2 months.
Well, we interviewed a neighbor who said that he was in his shed, somebody who escaped a couple months ago.
I think we're talking about the same suspect. Yeah.
Can you
Does
confirm
this
about
guy
talking
seem
to
like
the-
he had a plan at all? Or was this it doesn't seem like he knew where to go?
Yeah, I can
At
hear.
this time, we don't know. Mike,
You don't
we're
know?
conducting that investigation
Can
currently.
you elaborate on talking?
So how do we know that he had a drawn map inside his frickin' cell? What the hell? No closed captioning still. I apologize about that. Just because it's fresh, but definitely better audio.
To the superintendents because
If you guys want to listen to more of this, just let me know and we can re-listen to other parts since it is better audio. Just type in chat and I'll do that for you.
No, Mike, and we're conducting that investigation
Can you
currently.
elaborate on talking to the superintendents? Because we've talked to all of us, I've talked to so many neighbors, right, who are apoplectic, I want to use the word, just so upset,
Yeah.
right? Can you talk to them about, they're saying they're not getting a lot of communication. They don't know what to do. They are having guns by their side, like literally so upset. Can you just talk to them about what is going on and how they can allay their fears? Or what they can do?
Absolutely. And our main concern is with the residents in this community. Of course, we want to make sure that they are protected and kept safe. We have been in communication with the superintendents. We have been sending out reverse 911 calls to the residents in a 2-mile perimeter. So they're getting updates that the rest of the community outside of that area are not getting. So we're making every effort to be in touch with them. Regarding the schools and how we want to operate moving forward, we have a call this afternoon to talk that out with the superintendents. But like Colonel Bivens indicated, it's going to be a decision that the school districts have to make on their own, but we're going to provide them with all the information that they need to make an educated decision on that.
What would you like to say to the neighbors, though, if they're scared?
I understand that, and I want to say that we are doing everything in our power to get this guy, and people are working round the clock. I understand their fears. But we are doing everything. We're bringing in all the experts in this area. We have the top men and women working round the clock to bring this man to justice. And we're not going to stop until he's captured. And we hope we're getting closer.
And if I could just jump back in here. Thank you. With regard to the neighbors or the people in this area, I want to assure them that we have a strong presence there. They are not on their own out there. We have people close by. If they hear or see anything, call us. We will be happy to come check it out. They don't need to go outside and check out a suspicious noise, or if they hear something in their homes, we'll take care of it right away. We're close by. It's not going to take long at all to have somebody there. So we're happy to do that. And again, please know that
you're happy to do that. This dude's out on the frickin' run. Committed unalivings already. Does not want to get caught. Why are you not speaking, any of you? Why are you not speaking with more urgency? This is a total downplay of the situation to save face. This is PR bullshit right here. This isn't justice. This is PR bullshit.
This man to justice. And we're not going to stop until he's captured. And we hope we're getting closer.
And if I could just jump back in here. Thank you. With regard to the neighbors or the people in this area, I want to assure them that we have a strong presence there. They are not on their own out there. We have people close by. If they hear or see anything, call us. We will be happy to come check it out. They don't need to go outside and check out a suspicious noise, or if they hear something in their homes, we'll take care of it right away. We're close by. It's not going to take long at all to have somebody there. So we're happy to do that. And again, please know that we are doing everything. We ask for their indulgence of the heavy police presence, but that's one of the ways that we can, as best possible, assure their safety.
Is there anything that people should be avoiding, any behavior that they should avoid? As you mentioned, the whole out into the woods, but this is a holiday. Obviously, people have family get-togethers, family reunions, etc. Should they be staying inside and kind of canceling everything that they had already?
No, we're not asking people to do that. There's been no indication that that he poses that kind of a threat to anyone in those neighborhoods.
What?
He doesn't want to be caught. He doesn't want to go back. Now, could he be desperate and do something? Sure, but we don't have information to suggest that anyone is at risk for going out in their yard. What we're saying is to avoid interfering with the search.
What?
Avoid those wooded areas. And again, that's a fairly small area, maybe a mile and a half across. The rest of the area, we're not even asking people to avoid the woods. It's within that perimeter area that we've set up that we're just asking for those, not even restrictions, some cooperation to make our jobs a little bit easier.
Wow.
All within that 2-mile radius from the Chester County Prison, this whole area that's on lockdown.
Yes.
And then use of deadly force, is this shoot to kill on sight, or if he doesn't actively cooperate?
Well, the term is not shoot to kill. It's deadly force is authorized, and it's if he is not actively surrendering. We do consider him to be a very dangerous individual. He is convicted of homicide here, was involved in another homicide in Brazil some years ago. It's somebody that we think poses a threat and needs to be taken out of the community, needs to be incarcerated. He has the option to surrender. That is what we hope he will do.
Will he be returned to the Chester County Prison if he's apprehended?
We'll discuss that at that point in time. But what I would tell you is that I can assure you that there will be secure measures put in place that he won't be escaping again. And so whether that's
really?
a facility,
It happened 2 months ago,
we'll be
dude.
discussing with the district attorney and also with the State Department of Corrections.
Are the troopers going home to home searching to see if he's in one of their homes? Or
It happened 2 months ago.
allow the troopers to go in and search?
They have been. And so, again, we ask their cooperation. So you may see a trooper in that area or somewhere close by, knock at your door and ask some questions or ask if they can come in. Again, it's simply that they're trying to make sure that we have thoroughly searched that entire area and that residents' homes are secure.
Can we hear from the U.S. Marshals in terms of what your role is right now?
Sure. I think Lieutenant Colonel Bivens summarized everything perfectly. Our role is to support the Pennsylvania State Police. They are the lead investigator in this investigation, and they come with much experience of these woodland manhunts. We've had numerous manhunts. I think the most recent was in Warren County just a couple months ago. So we're bringing the best of the best assets out here. Their CERT team, their Special Emergency Response Team, is well trained. They're here. Our professionals from the Marshal Service are here as well. And our position is that Danilo Cavalcante's desperateness will not outlast the resolve of our investigators here. And that goes for the state police, that goes for the Marshal Service.
They're
our
like
state and county local investigators. We're all on the same team. And like Lieutenant Colonel
It's
said,
bullshit.
we will get him. We'll push the threat. He'll make a mistake, and we'll bring him into custody.
So outside
It's
that 2 mile
bullshit.
radius, you're an expert, you've done this many times. Longwood Garden was open, the National Fresh Touch University made a decision that people outside the 2 mile radius cannot be as concerned, or what do you say to people outside that 2 mile radius?
I don't think we're there yet. Like the Lieutenant Colonel said, our efforts are focused on that 1.5 to 2 mile radius inside that inner perimeter. There's been 4 confirmed sightings. So we're not ready to sound the alarm outside of that radius yet. All of our efforts are focused inside. And until we exhaust that or we prove that he's escaped that 2 mile radius, then we can talk about maybe what the public should do outside. But our efforts are all concerned inside that radius.
I mean, a lot of residents are saying, like, how is he still not captured? You have the U.S. Marshals, like, you guys are the experts on this,
Right.
troopers out there. The 2 mile radius is so small. Like, can you just talk a little bit about, like, where could he be? Like, is he in a tree? Like, you know.
When you talk
what's
about a
going
2
on?
mile radius, you got to remember this is a 5 foot tall gentleman, 120 pounds, and this is a heavily wooded area. It's very, very thick back there. There's a lot of hiding spots. There's a lot of ravines back there. And we are an expert in fugitive investigations, but the Pennsylvania State Police are experts in incident command. And I think that's why Lieutenant Colonel Bivens is here. There's nobody better in the agency than him. And I guarantee you that if he is here, that his troopers, along with our investigators, are going to be able to find and locate him.
Is there enough out there that he can actually sustain himself for an extended period of time between water, fruits, and things of that sort?
Is there enough resources out there? I don't know. I don't know what he's obtained. I'm no expert on what's edible out there, what drinking water he's using. From the video the other night, we know he had a backpack on. One of the questions is, where did he get that backpack? So when we say homeowners who are coming back from the shore, check your belongings, see if anything's been disturbed. Are you missing a backpack? That could fill in some voids for us. So as far as sustainability on the land, I'm just not sure. But a man is desperate at this, anything's possible.
Are there any plans to release the recording as well?
To release the recording
The broadcast recording?
to the media?
Yeah.
Not now, there's not. We're utilizing it for our investigations. So that was broadcast, like Lieutenant Colonel said, through the helicopter yesterday and through patrol cars, in hopes that perhaps as desperate as he is, maybe he has a change of thought. And here's his mother telling him to surrender, and his family cares about him. He's desperate. He's hungry. He's been in the woods. He's dirty. Perhaps this is what puts him over the edge where he can get a peaceful surrender.
Whatever.
She is.
That's my follow-up question. I know it is in Portuguese, but can you tell us what his mother is actually saying to him?
I don't want to say verbatim. She's just encouraging that his family loves him and that she wants him to surrender. And that's what our hope is as well.
What a joke of a press conference. They are totally like downplaying the whole situation. So here's the link to the better audio version of that. What a joke. And I mean, that's cool. JLR's covering it. So am I. So that's cool that he's doing it. So am I. But let me see. Here's the next video. And this is from ABC6 again.
Developing now the massive search for an escaped prisoner in Chester County enters day 5. We've just learned that the county's district attorney will hold an update at 1 o'clock this afternoon. 34-year-old Danilo Cavalcante has been on the run since he broke out of the Chester County prison in Pocopson Township on Thursday morning, and there was a sighting of him just over the weekend.
Ain't no
Action News reporter
millionaire
Maggie Kent
shit.
joining us live in Westchester with more on the manhunt.
I
And
ain't no
Maggie,
millionaire.
awaiting what officials have to say this afternoon. Really hope that we're closing in on this.
They just totally downplayed the whole
Of course,
thing.
everyone is, and they're on pins and needles until they know that Cavalcante is back in custody. I will tell you that they've been sending out updates as they get them. Apparently, the last confirmed sighting of him was yesterday, but we did see some surveillance video from Saturday night as well, catching Cavalcante on video. Again, we're expecting to hear from U.S. Marshals and the District Attorney's Office
Ooh, the home
today at
security
1
video.
o'clock for the latest updates on their all-out search.
Ooh, nice.
Last spotted on
I got the
camera on
security
Saturday
video. Oh,
night,
here it
about
is here,
one
right
and a
here.
half miles from Chester County Prison, where he escaped. Convicted killer Danilo Cavalcante is seen wearing his prison-issued attire, a white shirt, gray pants, and white sneakers.
Right.
It appears
It's freaking crazy when we first came across this and you saw. I'll show you guys here in a second what the freaking shit he's wearing. It's like how many people have you seen walking down the freaking city street wearing a white T-shirt and gray sweatpants with white tennis shoes? Now come on, and that's supposed to stand out?
he picked up a backpack along the way. Today marks 5
There it
days
is, right there.
since 34-year-old Cavalcante
You're gonna tell me you ain't seen nobody walking down the fucking street wearing some shit like that? Give me a break. What's up, Lisa? Oh, you're good. We'll be ending it here shortly. Got the show coming out tonight. We'll be back tonight, and I'll probably go hang out at the lounge for a little while after I'm done with this show. I feel like hanging out at the lounge for a little bit this afternoon. And sorry, y'all, we got some trolls hanging out that like to flag our community's comments to create some confusion. So I'm helping unconfuse.
escaped from prison, and ever since, Pocopson Township has been on high, inundated with U.S. Marshals and state police searching for the man charged with fatally stabbing his ex-girlfriend in front
casually
of her
walking.
children.
Look out the kitchen window.
Residents have been living with a sense of unease.
It's not something that you see on a normal basis, and we all just hope that they find them, and we know that it's definitely not from a lack of effort.
On Friday, Westchester University
Oh, for real?
canceled class. Over the holiday
wow.
weekend, Longwood Gardens closed its gate to visitors, but since reopened today. And again, they're still on the search for Cavalcante. All law enforcement officers here on the lookout. Now, I do have to mention that they described the difficulties in this search. There's really heavily wooded areas around here, about 270 homes in the area that Cavalcante was last seen. So they are asking residents, if you happen to see anything that looks unusual, make sure you lock your cars, your outhouses, and things like that. That's their concern right now. As I mentioned, we're expecting to get an update from officials at 1 o'clock. What we'll do is bring that to you live, both on 6abc.com.
Oh. Wow.
.com and on
Whoa, StreamYard just totally bugged the hell out. Wow. StreamYard. What the fuck was that? Yeah. Well, that was just a photo of him walking, but they told, like, and this happened 2 months ago?
air. We're going to be broadcasting this update
2 months
as
ago.
everyone awaits additional news.
And they're telling the community that they're doing everything to make sure that this doesn't happen. It's like, dude, you just said that like 2 months ago. So you think anybody's gonna like trust what you're saying now? No. All right, 1 second here. So you saw I'm going to go right back to the surveillance, though. Hold on. I want to watch that again.
All out search. Last spotted on camera on Saturday night, about 1.5 miles from Chester County Prison, where he escaped. Convicted killer Danilo Cavalcante is seen wearing his prison-issued attire. A white shirt, gray pants, and white sneakers. It appears he picked up a backpack along the way. Today marks 5 days since 34-year-old Cavalcante escaped from prison, and ever since, Pocopson Township has been on
How many
high alert.
days? How many days?
Backpack along the way. Today marks 5 days since
5 freaking days. Still wearing the same damn clothes. 5 freaking days. Something just don't seem right. They just don't. Speaking of the Gabby Petito case, there's something that came across, and I want to share something. And I also want to share something from Crime Circus as well. There's something that came from Crime Circus. And then I'm going to kind of wind down the show, and then we'll be back tonight. I'll go ahead and put out a notification after the show's done. And then I'm going to be going to hang out at the lounge this afternoon for a little while at some point. Get some lunch, take a short break, and then go hang out at the lounge before I get back on this evening.
They've sent a settlement proposal to the parents of Gabby Petito. Stephen Bertolino sent the proposal to Joe Petito and Nicole Schmidt, though the terms of the offer are not being released publicly. This comes after Gabby's parents claim Chris and Roberta Laundrie, as well as Bertolino, knew of Gabby's murder in 2021, but chose not to do anything except release a statement, hoping that she would be found. It is not believed that the Laundries are part of the settlement offer, although it's all secret right now. The civil trial is scheduled to begin next May, and I want to bring in
I couldn't see him
trial
really
attorney,
either.
Dante.
I honestly could barely even see it, but if that's what they're saying that's him. Okay, I trust you. Sure. But it was hard for me to tell. I don't know. Some just don't seem damn right with it. It's all messed up. It keeps happening. And then the community. Come on. And this is what didn't make sense when we first saw the case. When you see the prison, there's so much wide open area around it before it gets to the thick ass trees. So how did you didn't even have guards looking out over the perimeter? Like, what the hell? The dude should have been caught when he was running down the frickin' lawn.
Mills to talk about some of these cases. Dante, thank you for being with us. First of all, I'm curious what you think about this possible settlement with the Petitos. Do you think there's a chance that there could actually be a settlement and we won't see the trial next year?
Brian, you have to remember that and thank you for having me on this holiday, Monday, but you have to remember that there's a structure to the court system. And as attorneys, we have to remove emotion out of it. I understand that this case is very, very emotional. It was a young couple that was together. And for this to happen while they were on vacation, it was a very emotional thing. But as attorneys, we look at the case and say, is there a way that we can resolve this without going to trial? There's no guarantee if you go to trial, especially in a civil case. So what the defendants are looking to do is say, how much can we offer where it makes sense for this family to accept this as a settlement, feel like they have some kind of justice, but not have the expense and the risk of going to trial. And that will come down to just really a well thought out, calculated yes or no. So the family is going to be wrapped up in emotion, but the attorney's job is to evaluate it and then do a cost benefit analysis and see, is it worth settling? Is this something that we can resolve without the cost and risk of a trial?
It's going to be interesting, especially Dante, because the Petitos have said that they want to have the trial because they want the truth to come out and they want all of the evidence that no one has seen before to come out. So even if they get offered the settlement, this might just not be about money for them. They may just want to, have the Laundries have to tell all after all this. Let's move on, though, to Murdaugh. Alec Murdaugh His attorneys are having a press conference tomorrow in South Carolina. I'm actually going to be there. I'm going to fly there in the morning. We covered that trial extensively. They are filing an appeal. We don't know exactly what it is, possibly something to do with the jurors. What do you make of this, Dante? I mean, is there a chance this could be legit?
Appeals are tough. When you have this process, especially this trial, it lasted for a very long time. It was very extensive. I believe the judge in this case was very thorough and flushed out all the issues.
Right, P-Fox?
So
He was on
finding
Tower
something that
Meeting.
will be enough to overturn the jury's decision is not going to be easy. But as of right now, we don't know exactly what that is. We've had some hints about whether it's a potential juror.
That's nice. You know, I always. This is why. Oh my god. I mean, I'm gonna be. You know, the Mallory Beach stuff coming up. I am going to be talking Stephen Smith coming up, you know, stuff that involves the Murdaugh. But, you know, I always love it when I come across the mainstream media and you click on a video and it says Laundrie's attorneys send settlement off to Petito parents ahead of trial. And that's really all that the title is. And then you look down here and you see it's all about, you know, Gabby Petito, but yet we're talking frickin' Murdaugh. The headline should match the damn video. Because if I wanted to talk Murdaugh, I would be talking Murdaugh. I don't get it. I don't understand why they do their headlines like that. Now, do you guys? There's a Court TV special that came out about a week and a half ago, talking about the new clues that were that linked to the BTK SK. A cold case victim. I know you've probably been seeing, I'll switch to Twitter here. I know you've been probably seeing a lot of these tweets being put out there when it comes to this case. Let me see. You got publicly buzzed right here.
Crime scenes. I know he drove me by the Otero house. I know he took me down to play by Hedges after she was murdered. So the question is, why do I know where Garber was dumped? Like, there's questions like about that. And then, like, when I asked Dad about Garber, he goes, well, I started talking about Bella Vista and fishing when I was little. And he goes that we had stayed in like cabins down there, not far from there. And he was telling me about a photo with a cane pole and me fishing.
Oh,
and
wow.
I was like, okay, wait, like, he says, like, that's from Bella Vista and I should remember. And I'm like, Dad, I don't remember things from when I was 2 years old, dude. And, like, he was shocked I couldn't remember, like, my first fish.
Publicly
and I was like,
buzzed
Dad, I
on
was 2 or
Twitter.
3. Is he trying to actually code tell me that I was fishing over where Garber was?
He might
And
be. Right.
So it's really, really important to talk to me at that level. And so, like, I'm very key because I have a very visual memory. And I literally can tell you, and I can tell you guys this now, I told CNN and Banfield, but I know exactly where Garber's body spot was. We went there and drove there this summer, and we like rounded. It's in like Pineville, Missouri.
Oh shit!
What?
And we rounded a corner, and there's a creek there for fishing. It's like a perfect creek to fish. And I said, "Wait, guys, stop!" And I said, "I know this bright white shell rock." And I go, "I have fished here, guys, when I was little, like maybe 3 or 4." And I would have never known that. I would have never been able to tell you that without going. And that's why we're embedding me with law enforcement and we're driving me around.
Just the geography.
Yeah, I know things like down to a tree.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Wow.
They think that he probably took me to prison.
That's crazy. Yeah, damn. I know they had her on the show. Here, let me share the link to the Twitter, publicly buzzed. They had her on the show the other night. And, you know, and we'll in the future. A lot of the times when you try and cover these BTK cases, you know, a lot of the times the shit just get flagged like crazy. So shout out to Publicly Buzzed. Here's drawings. And I'll share this tweet as well. But definitely go follow Publicly Buzzed. We'll get into the BTK at some point in the future. Also, there's some Delphi stuff that will, a lot of different shows, a lot of different topics coming up, but we'll still cover the Idaho 4. We'll still keep up with that too. So I'm going to go ahead and end this show. I'm going to get me some lunch, take a break, come hang out at the lounge, and then get ready for this evening. So we might have to reschedule the Karen Reed episode till tomorrow night. I'm waiting to hear back if there might be a delay in the microphone for him, just in case. I want to make sure that we can get him on panel. That way we can share a lot of these screens and stuff when it comes to the conversations that we're going to be talking about for the evening. So just as a heads up, I'll definitely be putting out a notification here soon. We'll definitely be on tonight. But it's tonight or tomorrow night. We're gonna see what happens with this microphone, but we're definitely gonna have that happen, and we'll be back tonight. So thank you everybody for hanging out. I appreciate your company and your conversation today, and I can't wait to see you back tonight. We're gonna have a kick-ass show.